Okay, I think we are ready to go. And I'm going to go ahead and just get started, brothers, with just a brief intro for our program tonight. Again, thanking you all for tuning in to We Must First Be Brothers. Let me start with our salutation, and and let me say this before I start. This is called this welcome to all of our brothers from whatever background, faith, or otherwise. We welcome you to come and have a very healthy and inspirational discussion with us. So thank you for tuning in to We Must First Be Brothers. I start by saying, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness there is but one God whose proper name is Allah. We thank Him for making His intervention in our affairs in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise I forever do. And we thank Him for His servant and divine reminder, His messenger Messiah, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And we further thank them for leaving one in our midst, not forsaking us, but giving us the opportunity to develop properly, to become agents of change and growth in our community and throughout the world. We can never thank Allah enough for His faithful servant, His beloved, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. It is with their names that I greet you, my dear brothers, and those who are listening, with the greeting words of peace. We say it in the Arabic language, the language of our forefathers, of Assalamu alaikum. In English, it simply means peace be unto you. And that is indeed the spirit in which we come, peace, which is an attribute and a quality and characteristic of Almighty God and the nature of God. So we are, brothers, as you know, living in a time of great confusion. We're living in a time of great distraction, a time where the Black man has been totally pulled away from structure and pushed into chaos. But the question is not just what has been done to us. The question is, what are we building within ourselves? Because self development is not optional, it is a necessity to exist as a human being, it is a necessity for survival. And tonight we are discussing pillars, not all of them. I'm sure there may be some we miss, but certainly serious pillars that we need to place some attention on. And pillars is not about weak foundations, but pillars are to be built to be unshakable. The first pillar, discipline. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that a man must eat to live and not live to eat. This is not just about food, but this is about mastery. Because if a man cannot discipline his appetite, he will never discipline his actions. The scripture says, he that rules his spirit is better than he that takes over a city. Proverbs 16 and 32. The Holy Quran also points out, indeed, Allah loves those who act with discipline and self restraint. Surah 2, verse 195. Discipline is one of the first pillars because without it, nothing else will stand. The second pillar is knowledge, not surface knowledge, but the knowledge of self. I was having a discussion the other night with a friend, and I mentioned this particular knowledge of self. We have been conditioned to think that it's just talking about history, but the self is much deeper than just history. The self is the identifier, it is that essence that comes from God Himself. It is a part of the expression of the nature of God. We have to know who we are on every level. All of the expressions that come out of us, we have to know. We have to know, of course, our origin, but we have to know our essence. Because a man that does not know himself will be defined by his enemies. And this is really apparent in today's society. It's very obvious that Black men are being defined by not ourselves, but others who have evil intentions, who don't want us to be represented in a proper light. That's why every television show, nearly, every movie that we watch, nearly, every portrayal, depiction of Black men is always in some distorted, weak representation, but not representing who we truly are, the leaders, the authority, the divine authorities. Yes, divine authorities and rulers of this planet. In fact, the universe. So the scripture says in the Second Timothy 2:15, study to show thyself approved. And the Quran declares, are those who know equal to those who do not know? It's a pretty obvious question or answer to that question. Surah 39, verse 9. Knowledge is not just information. Knowledge is that which will bring about true transformation. The third pillar, health, strength of the body. Because if we're not, brother, going to take care of our physical self, then we're not trying to create the proper environment for our spiritual being to exist. We have a machine, we will call it, that God gave us that we walk around in, that we have the ability to control our hands, our feet, our legs, our arms, our head, our eyes. It doesn't, that's not you. That is that is where you are living inside of. So we have to take care of the body. I know that kind of corresponds with what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said in Discipline and How to Live, but we have to take care and control and master this physical body. Listen, don't take any offense to this, please, because we have straight talk, but I don't want you to take offense to this. If you happen to be struggling with your weight or whatever, my brother. But what I will say is that that is an area that we have to master. We have to gain power over our physical body, especially in a time like this, Brother John, because we know that we are in a perilous time where all kinds of things are happening. Imagine having to walk 50 miles nowadays. How many of us could make a 50-mile walk or 100-mile walk? Some of us can't even imagine what that would be like. But there could be a circumstance that would put us in a position where that may have to happen. You see these gas prices, brother. Some of us may just want to start walking anyway to save some money, you know. But if the body is weak, it is a clear, decisive indication that the mind is also weak and struggle is happening in that person. So the scripture says again, know you that your body is the temple. That's 1 Corinthians 6:19. Health is not vanity. Health is responsibility. And, I heard someone say not long ago, health is wealth, because you can have all the money in the world, but if you are not taking care of yourself, then you will ransom everything that you have if your health is poor to just try to have good health. The fourth pillar is economics, because freedom requires independence. And we talking to Black men. You cannot build a nation, build a world or reality for ourselves if we are dependent on another people to give us the resources to take care of ourselves. This is something, brothers, that we really have to study hard and strong. It invokes a serious militance in me. It's something I'm trying to go to war against. I want to be free from any kind of dependency on my enemy and his world. I'm not running around waiting on the next president, bruh. I don't care who the next president is. It don't matter. It matters that we gain a position, that we take a position. We take a position that we can stand for as brothers, as a people. And when we take that position, we hold that position, we fight for that position, we kill or die for that position. I think it says, uh, uh, birds may have, or a papa may have, a child may have, a God bless the child that has on. I didn't remix that, but you know what I'm trying to get at, right? You know, God bless the child that has his own, bruh. You know, so we got to have our own and stop begging another people and expecting for another people to treat us right, to give us what we should be giving ourselves. We've heard this over and over again, especially if you're a conscious black man. If you studied any level of conscious, you heard this over and over again, that we have to stop begging and waiting for somebody, some benevolent slave master or some Negro that is working on behalf of the slave master or the former slave master and his children to do for us what we are capable of doing for ourselves. So the scripture in the Bible in the book of Proverbs says that wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just. And that should help you to realize that if we're not just to ourselves, then everybody else is going to take advantage of us. And brothers, that's exactly what's happening as we speak. In every neighborhood that we live in throughout America, everybody's feeding off of our billions and trillions of dollars of spending power. And we hardly, if at all, have anything that we can call our own. And we can't say that it's not possible, because it's it's more than possible, because we've already done it. That's the beauty of studying who we are, because you already know that we've accomplished this and way beyond what we are looking at. So the principle is clear. We must circulate our dollar. We've heard this and we've talked about this many, many times, and we're going to continue talking till we walk it. Till we walk it like we talk it, and we'll talk it like we walk it, till our word becomes our bond, black man. We have to build our own, support our own, because economics is organized power process. The fifth pillar, which is the foundation of why we're here, is brotherhood, because no man rises alone. Now, I know that's a habit that we have as black men, especially black men in America or colonized. We have a tendency to be alone because most of the time we're depressed. Many times we feel alone because we don't have the proper brotherly companion, the intimate companionship that we should have amongst each other. Brother Lewis and I were talking about just not even knowing your brother. Some of us just don't even know who we are. We haven't even taken the time to properly introduce ourselves to each other so that we can know the benefit and the value that exists in each and every one of us. Now, this seems very simple as we talk about it, but it's very powerful when you understand all of the forces that have been put in place, all of the agenda items that have been enacted against us to keep us from being brothers, man. The whole world is making sure that we are not brothers, man. That's something to really think about. That a people works hard, they spend billions of dollars, trust and believe, man, to make sure that you, black man, and I, as a black man, are not brothers, keeps us fighting and killing one another. That is an institution of this society, keeping us out of love with each other. So if I don't love you as my brother, or if I think loving you is corny or weak, then I'm weak and corny. Because the greatest strength that we possess is the ability to love ye one another. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us, and I quote this often. He said that the basis of love is agreement, and we're closing out. And where there is no unity, there can be no progress. So the scripture says, behold how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. Psalms 133 and 1. And the Holy Quran commands, hold fast all together to the rope of Allah God, and be not divided. Holy Quran 3:103. Brotherhood is not just association. It is alignment. Alignment. That's heavy. Heavy thought when it came to you, brother. So understand this, brother. Discipline, knowledge, health, economics, brotherhood, these are not suggestions. These are pillars. And if one pillar is missing, the structure becomes unstable. We're not here tonight to just talk, but to talk deeply, to deeply discuss, to pull back layers, and to be very honest and forthright. We're here to build. We're here to return the structure, to establish within ourselves what the world is working so hard and has been successful in many cases to take from us. Because this, brothers, is the foundation, these pillars of a new reality. And that is why we are here tonight. That is why the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us we must first be brothers. And this is an institution. We are institutionalizing this. We are establishing an institution,
Yes,
a system of learning, Brother John, an environment of learning where young brothers can follow up behind us and fall into this process and learn the principles of brotherhood and become the stewards of brotherhood within our community. As our brother was talking a few moments ago, and I wanted him to just pause so we could hear him in the body of this discussion, because what he was saying is so relevant to what we're talking about when we talk about the pillars of self-development. So I want to go to one of our other brothers here as we spark this discussion. Again, we welcome you, brothers. It is an honor and a privilege to be a part, to participate in this discussion with you. Thank you. Thank you. Please go to our YouTube channel, which is We Must First Be Brothers, at We Must First Be Brothers. Share it. Please share it. This discussion. Go to our Facebook page. Is your brother, Michael Muhammad. Go to our Facebook page. Share it. Share the discussion. On your page. Let's affect the algorithms. You understand? Let us fight and go to war. The Bible said the battle will be in the sky. Let us go to war, man. There's so much foolishness out here. We have to have men of intelligence, and we have to be able to present information and knowledge and wisdom that will help us to counter all of the madness that is destroying our world and destroying our children, our boys, our girls, our women, and our men. So welcome, our dear beloved brothers, to We Must First Be Brothers. We got Brother John here, and we got Brother Lewis, followed up by our beloved Brother Lewis Ali from the South. We just welcome all of you on the call. I see all of our some of our strong pillars. We're gonna call them the pillars of the program here. You know, Brother Jay and others who are here. We welcome all of you, brothers, and thank you for joining us tonight. Brother John, we're going to turn it over to you and allow you to grace us, and then we want to hear from our beloved Brother Lewis. If you like Brother Lewis, you can introduce our dear brother again so that we can receive him and hear from our brother, Nathan. I think it was Nathan.
Yes, sir. Thank you, brothers. Appreciate it. Thank everybody that's coming. I like to go with the spirit. Since Brother Lewis brought a new brother to the thing, I'll let Brother Lewis go ahead and go and introduce that brother. And because it looks like he's moving around and got a few things to do right quick. So
I went into one of the most honest, can you hear me, brothers?
Yes, sir.
I went into one of the most honest institutions that we have left today.
Wow.
And that institution is the barbershop.
That's right.
Straight up, straight up, straight up. Respect.
The barbershop is not integrated for the most part. And so Black people are not, particularly Black men, they come from many different walks of life. And I have an incredible barber, very conscious brother, family man. And we always get into these deep conversations in the barbershop. In fact, at our barbershop, as part of why I go there, I'm actually going to bring Sharif in at some point so that we can film some of these conversations. And I met brother Nathan Berry there. And that name Berry, I didn't tell him. It rung a bell because I was in the military and one of my best friend's last name, it was Berry. So we struck it off right away because I was so impressed because he's passionate about doing something for our young people. And he didn't know me, but I feel like we're kindred spirits. And at some point, we're going to do something here on We Must Be Brothers First, where we call all of these different men of God together in a forum and in a room for probably I didn't tell Brother Nathan this part, a 3-day conference or something, but it won't be just talk. It'll be us doing something where we actually go out in the field and build something. So I'm honored to meet Brother Nathan, and I'm going to let Brother Nathan come on and share a few words with us as we build momentum towards this conference on We Must Be Brothers First. Brother Nathan, just like in the barbershop, you were at home, okay?
Absolutely, brother.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well,
That's why
I
I
appreciate
I
appreciate the welcome. One of the things that was said earlier was about discipline. And one of my former coaches would always say, no matter what it is you do in life, if you have two things, you'll always be successful. And those two things were discipline and consistency. If you can master being consistently disciplined, there's nothing that you can't overcome. There's nothing that you can't do. And I think that we as a whole, those are the two of the biggest things that we're missing. This generation, there's no discipline. It's like, hey, we live in an era, live in a time where it's just do as you please. And there's no consistency because the rules constantly change, the goalpost constantly gets moved. And we're all not starting the race at the same point.
That's right.
For me, I kind of live life like based on two real, consistency and discipline are great foundation pieces. But for my everyday life, I got really two real rules. One of them, it's growth. But not growth just in the sense of the word of like getting larger, but growth as an acronym, get rid of what threatens happiness. If it threatens my happiness or whatever, I got to get rid of it. Whether that's friendship, that's food, that's, whatever the case may be. If it's going to try my happiness, then there's no room for it with me. And the second thing is peace. Again, acronym, purposely eliminating and conquering evil. If I consistently stay disciplined and eliminate and conquer evil thoughts, evil actions, then I'm going to grow. I'm going to have growth. So they kind of go hand in hand, one with the other. Growth and peace and growth, however, whatever you want to order it. But those are things that I just like constantly every day tell myself, like, that's what I got to be about. I got to be about that. And I let that be my guide. Like, am I happy about the decision that I made? Because I don't know how many brothers are on this call, but I can tell each and every one of y'all anything in the world. You don't know me well enough to say if I'm telling you the truth or if I'm lying. But there's one person that I cannot lie to. When I'm having man in the mirror moment, I can't lie to him because he knows I'm lying. I can't. There's nothing that I can tell him that I can make him believe that he knows isn't true.
That's right.
And, so I really, really try my best. No, you know what? I'm gonna rephrase that, because when you try things, you leave room for failure. I do my best to always be consistent, whether it's consistently a good dad, consistently a good steward, whatever. I'm gonna be consistent. I'm disciplined in ways that people shouldn't think to be disciplined. but that's the things that I need, because I have a job, of course, but the greatest job I have, the one that I can't fail at, is being a dad, being a father to my sons. I can fail at everything else in life, but I can't fail at that. And so I really I'm a regular, everyday guy who just wants better. You know, I get up every day and my goal is, I'm never competing with other people. I'm competing with Nathan. Today's Nathan, April 16th, 2026, how's he better than April 15th, 2026 Nathan? And how's April 17th Nathan going to be better than April 16th Nathan?
Yes, sir.
So I appreciate Brother Lewis for the invitation. I appreciate you guys for the welcome. And I really feel that these kind of conversations people shy away from.
Right.
But sometimes they're not shying away from it because I just don't want to do it. Sometimes it's I don't know. And I was talking to some brothers earlier today when I went to go get something to eat, and one of the guys gave me something. He said that there's the three hardest phrases for a black man. Number one is I don't know. Like, we hate to say I don't know. We will pass up 6 million turns, get off the interstate, because we don't want to ask somebody for directions. We don't
have
saying I don't know is a form of failure.
Right.
I don't know. The second one is I'm sorry. We would do anything. We don't want to admit that we wrong. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have done. I'm sorry. And the third thing is simple. I love you.
I love you, brother. I knew it.
I love you.
I knew it.
Because we have been conditioned to think that I'm sorry is a sign of weakness.
Yes.
I don't know is a sign of weakness.
Yes.
And being emotional is a sign of weakness.
Yes.
So we don't get the opportunity to, and I know I'm getting long with it, and I apologize.
No, take your time, brother. Take your time.
I try my best to never use the word potential.
Yes.
Because if I tell you, Brother Lewis, you have so much potential, I just insulted you. I just told you you're not doing what you're capable of. So I try not to say the word potential. But because we're not being given we're not given all the tools, but B, the tools that we're given, we're not taught how to properly use those tools, we will never reach the level of greatness that we were set to achieve. All these things they get stripped from you. So again, I'm just a normal guy who understood very early on that I had a level of greatness that I couldn't cheat myself out of.
Yes. Yeah.
And because if I cheat myself out of it, then all I know is that. So I'm going to cheat my sons out of it. And in turn, they're going to cheat their sons out of it. And then they're going to cheat their sons. So people use the term generational curses. I get it. I understand it. But it's much, much deeper than generational curses. It's about, when I remember when I first moved from Chicago to Baton Rouge, well, we hadn't even moved yet. I got a lot of cousins that are around my age, and everybody was like, hey, say your ABCs. And my cousins would get to J, and then they'd go JK element of P. Element of P. And I'm like, what is an element of P? And I'm looking at them like, y'all are dumb. Like, element of P, that's not what it is. But I then look at their parents. And their parents are teaching them element of P. So probably my cousins taught their kids element of P. So you really have to sometimes dig a little bit deeper than the surface, and you learn to give people grace and mercy because they're only doing what they were taught to do.
That's right, bro.
You're not born a racist. You're taught that.
That's
but at the same time, you're not born to know what love is. It's something that you're taught.
Right.
You're taught. And so if I'm never taught that, how can I teach somebody else? If I'm never taught that, how can I execute it? I can't.
That's right.
Again, we got all these resources, right? But if I never teach a person how to properly use the tools I'm giving them, it's waste. My
Mm.
son is 13 years, my oldest son is 13 years old. I would not go buy him a brand new car. I wouldn't go buy him a used car today and tell him, hey, go drive, if I've never taught him how to drive.
That's right.
So and that's something very, very simple, but the way that we live nowadays, and a lot of these mentors, and I'm using my air quotes, we talk a big game, we tell, but they're not seeing execution. We're not teaching them how to use it. So with my mentoring group, what I do, not only do I give you all of the game, but I'm going to teach you how to execute the game, because that's a part that we miss. Everybody can show up for the Easter egg hunts and the giveaways and use a bunch of big words and talk, and there's a camera and everybody's recording it. But when the camera goes off and everybody get to go home, what did you leave them with?
Exactly.
And what did you leave them with? Everything that we do should be tangible. Like,
yes,
it might not be something you can put in your hand, but it's something that you can put in your heart. It's something you can put in your head. So when you leave me, if you don't ever see me again, because people don't remember what you say, but people remember how you made them feel. When you leave me, you like, man, oh, you know what? That dude, that was on something. He hit something. Man, I didn't get a chance to tell Brother Lewis this today. This couple Sundays ago, I went and saw this movie. It's called The Secret Between Us. I went there to see this movie thinking that it was about to be about this young man who found his father, and he's about to cause all kinds of havoc in their household because he felt cheated by the dad because he disowned him. He never found him. But the movie ended up being about something so much greater than that. The acting was C-, but the message was like beyond great. It was really more so about being able to love unconditionally. It was about being able to love somebody who has already wronged you. How do you move past that? How do you move past the wrong when you've been hurt by someone?
absolutely.
And it was also talked about replacing misery, sorrow, all these negative emotions with happiness. And there was only like 6 or 7 of us in the movie. But when I tell you, I walked out of there like I had just left a funeral because my eyes were bloodshot red.
Wow.
All this white stuff on my face because I cried like I hadn't cried in years.
Yes.
And that movie gave me a different outlook on a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And so, again, I got long-winded. I'm sorry. I just really want to, one day, hopefully it's a long time from now, the good Lord is going to say, you know what, Brother Nate, come on with me. You've done all the work that you need to do here. Come on, I got a spot for you. And there's going to be a funeral, and there's going to be somebody giving a eulogy, and they're going to say a whole bunch of great stuff about me, right? At least I hope so. I don't want the people in the audience going, he's talking about the same Nate I know?
Right.
Where'd that come from? I want that my story to be so synonymous with being a good-hearted guy, success, being a pillar, that all I get is a bunch of amens. He was that. He was that. And so that's my quest.
That's so beautiful, brother. Let me say this, brother. I'm gonna jump in there and mix it. You say you're a barber, brother?
Oh no, not me. If I gotta
okay.
cut hair, you're gonna need a new barber.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering because
they met at
Lewis
the
had mentioned.
barbershop, bro, Mike.
Yeah, they met at the barbershop because the barbershop, brother Lewis, it is a sacred ground for Black men still, and only reason I ask is because I'm a barber. It was the way I started my journey and in life. First with my brothers, and then I worked in a barbershop and whatnot. But anyway, just interesting how that happens. But brother Nathan, everything that you said, brother, was right on point, on fire, and right in alignment with everything that we are talking about today. Let me ask you a question. You were starting out a little earlier and you were sharing some of the things that you do. I think you were mentioning some of your mentoring work. Was that?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, please share that, brother, because I think that's the
schools you're in.
Oh, let's see. Glen Oaks High, Capitol High, McKinley High, Woodlawn High, Woodlawn Middle, Dalton Elementary, Capitol, well, now what would be considered Capitol Elementary, Sherwood Middle, Southeast Middle, Westdale Heights Academic Magnet, Baton Rouge Center for Visual Performing Arts. I know I'm forgetting somebody. South Downs Elementary. Where else? Where else? Where else? Where else? I have some kids at Central High. I have a few at
Wow.
Madison Prep. Yeah, so I'm all across the city.
Wow. Well, brother, we thank you, man. We are honored to have you on the call with us, brother Lewis. Thank you so much for sharing such a remarkable,
sir.
remarkable brother. You know, because
Hold
you're the
on,
kind of we ain't done, brother Lewis. We got more.
because let me
Yes,
tell you something about we must be brothers first.
yes,
Now, Brother Nathan, what you need to know is that all of us were born in the Midwest.
yes,
Me, you,
yes.
Brother Michael, and Brother Nathan's from Chicago originally.
Right.
Nevertheless, we're down south now, and there are
Yes.
big fields that await the wide awake man to work out.
Right.
And Nathan, we are a working group of men.
Yes.
We might get 10,000 watermelons this summer. Who
Yeah.
knows? There's some
Right.
talk.
We're working on it. Yeah.
So we don't want to hit it and quit it. You know how they say
That's
it.
right. That's
You know what
right.
I'm saying?
That's right.
We want us to be able to pull our talents together,
Yes.
our resources together, and create a new type of movement. And we appreciate, I didn't mention it in the barbershop, but my grandfather was part of the civil rights movement. And that's how I wind up in Wisconsin, because my grandfather is murdered in 1964.
Mm.
But it's time for us to build a new kind of movement now. And that's why you got Dr. Nash and Brother Jay, and we got mechanics on the line, and we got people across the country who want to make our own community a safe and decent place to live. And we want to start being able to do things in close proximity to one another. And so we've set up sort of a beachhead here in Baton Rouge, but in other parts also as well, where we want to begin the building process, where we can not just talk to young people, but actually show young people what we're doing. How
Yes. Yes. Yes.
this is what our intention is. And this session, or these sessions, we are like a think tank where we bounce ideas off of one another. We're different age groups. There's some I say young, there's some young men on here as well. And by the way, just for the record, none of us are homosexuals.
That's
You
right.
understand what I'm
That's right.
saying? So when
Soldiers.
we start talking about love,
Mhm.
you know, we love each other.
That's right.
And we have to say it in 2026 just like that. And
That's
we're
right.
helping each other to become better men,
That's right.
better fathers, better brothers, better uncles, better cousins. Because what has not been present in our community is the presentation of a dominant masculine male figure who's able to do something for himself and then attract other men to this idea. So we're grateful, Brother Nathan, you came in with us. And we
Yes.
don't want it to be the last time. And I don't want to pester you, but I'll be sending you
Please.
every week.
Yeah. Please, brother. Your voice is so strong, brother Nathan. And you know, and this is what and it don't matter what our backgrounds. It's one of the things that in the origin of this thought process, you know, we must first be brothers. One of the driving principles was that we unite with all our brothers. It don't matter what your background is. You know, if you are a black man with some sense, you know, and or at least striving to have some sense or whatever it is, then this is where we welcome our brothers. So your voice is so strong, and you're already a doer. We can learn from you. We can benefit from each other, and hopefully and prayerfully is something you can benefit from us as your brother as well. So we thank you for joining the call. This is not a religious call, even though we're going to invoke the Most High all the way through and through. But it's not, you know, any pressure in that way. The only pressure on us is that we be brothers. That's the pressure that's on us, that we practice the principles of brotherhood, that we expound on those principles of brotherhood. And like you said about those young people pushing that agenda into their heart, that's our duty, man. You know, I'm so inspired by you, my brother. You know, I'm inspired by any brothers activated on that level. You know, it's another brother I've been trying to get on the call out of Louisiana. I met him right down there. He's got an event going on down there, brother Lewis. Brother John, you know his name. The brother's author. He was rapping at your event, brother Lewis. But he also works with young people as well. Yeah, I've been trying to get the brother on the call because I just you want the brothers to get on and share their work. You know, I got another brother out of Wisconsin that's doing some amazing work. Sister Neela's husband does a great work with young brothers, you know, and so and of course, brother Lewis, you know you are a hallmark brother yourself in what you're doing with the A team. So you know we got to give it up for our own brother Lewis, you know. But this is the seed, and we talking about pillars. We talking about pillars. We talking about we have to become that. When brother mentioned discipline and that point on being coached. You know, and what his coach put in him. The coach put something in you, you know, and that became a part of you. And now you're putting that in other brothers, you know, and so those principles are immutable and they just transfer and continue to transfer. And that's what a pillar is as a brother. So the more we become pillars, then we become pillars for other brothers to lean on. So very grateful for you, Brother Nathan, and others that are on the call. Brother Lewis, was there anything else that you wanted to say?
No, let's start chopping it up.
Let's chop it up, Brother John.
Come on in, bro.
Yes, sir.
Day 19.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, Brother Lewis and Brother Nathan. I really appreciate you coming in, taking your time to come to your podcast. We must first be brothers. It's for all Black men across the world, and for us to unite and what's the word for it? Show and tell. Because tonight, we're not here for motivation. We're here for engineering, survival engineering. We have to realize where we at this time. We really have to pick up the pace, brothers. We really do. In 2026, the ground is really moving under our feet. If you're keeping up with the affairs and what's going on, things are moving around us that most of us see. This is what how things are happening with us in this society. They compartmentalize things, so we really don't know what's happening in Chicago right now. If you don't have nobody in Chicago, we don't know what's happening in LA. We don't know what's happening in New York, Florida, the whole 9 yards. But if you get a little taste of it on the news, you will see where there's hurricanes, tornadoes, there's flooding all around the country. But they make it seem like it doesn't affect us. It does affect us. If you've depended on this government, there's no money for FEMA. There's no money for any of this.
Come on.
So right now in Houston, Texas, the governor of Texas, the state of Texas, is taking $110 million away from Houston because the mayor won't incorporate ICE procedures with the city of Houston Police Department. Now that is getting ready to send Houston into a whirlwind and down the drain because on June 14th, the World Cup start. They were depending on some of that money for World Cup. Houston is already in $300 million worth of debt. Now you take another $110 million that was in the budget out. All these cities around the world, around the United States, are in debt. Every one of them, New York, Chicago, LA. Look, just drive through. You'll see that the roads that they have over there, they can't even, you in the fourth largest city in Houston, in the largest medical center, I'm riding brothers around and they thinking it's my problem. Driving. And it's actually the roads are bad. And it's the richest, and they say that medical center, 200,000 people come in a day, a week. 200,000 people a week come in, and it I forgot the numbers, but it's trillions of dollars that they bring forth. So in 2026, with the ground moving under our feet, AI erasing jobs, war is dividing, prices all around. They're talking about the Strait of Hormuz. Our bodies are getting heavier while our minds are still heavier. Our communities are not safe, and our future is on the line. A weak man cannot carry a nation, brothers. A divided brotherhood cannot build anything that lasts. So we have to return to structure, and I'm glad Mike came up with tonight's topics. The only thing that cannot be shaken is structure. These are the pillars of self-development: knowledge, discipline, health, economics, brotherhood. The glue that turns individuals into a collective power is brotherhood. And this is not optional. This is really self-care. Brotherhood is self-care, whether you realize it or not. And self-care, this is survival. A man who would not discipline his body would not discipline his finances. A man who would not humble himself in brotherhood would not build anything that outlives him. Tonight, we break down each pillar. We're not going to give any fluff. Some people say we're talking and you got to talk. You have to get the word out. In the beginning was the word, and the word became flesh, and the flesh dwelt among men. Well, this flesh is cutting on these bones, and we getting ready to move these dry bones that was in the valley and show and tell and get these brothers. We got brothers all around the country. Brothers called Brother Lewis and me today to talk about us connecting and doing stuff. People are seeing and hearing, and we are about to pull this trigger. So brothers, get excited. Start bringing brothers here and come with the mindset that we're not just talking, we're planning, executing. And as Brother Lewis said earlier, this is a think tank. We must first be brothers is an institute. See, we were given supreme wisdom. So this is not a group meeting. We are establishing an institution of brothers all around the country, and it is going to be a global institution. Trust and believe. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad used to put in the papers, a black man standing on the shores of America and a black man standing on the shores of Africa, reaching over, grabbing each other's hands.
Come on,
brotherhood. And that's what we're doing. So brothers, let's kick off the conversation. I see our great brother Tony there. Brother Jay's in.
Tony's in the house.
Tony's in the house.
Tony's in the house.
Let's crank it up, brother.
Yes.
I even see Brother Hoyer. I see
Hoyer's
my brother Frank. I see my brother Eaton. I don't know Brother Eaton. I've seen you before. Brother Jack, Keith X. Come on, brothers. Let's contribute. Let's get on it.
We welcome you, brothers. Yes, thank you, Brother John, for that wonderful opening. And Brother John is our like I'm trying to find a word, but he makes sure that sense of urgency is felt.
Yes,
he keep us up on the time. Brother John is the timekeeper. So he's telling us where we at, brothers, and the seriousness of the hour. And we've been talking about all the things that are happening technology-wise, what's happening globally. This is being impressed upon us. This is impressed upon us that we become brothers. And we're talking about the pillars. Discipline. We started with discipline, and I mentioned from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad Hadi to live. Why is that so important? He said again, as we opened, it is not just about the food, but it is about the disciplining of our machine. We have to discipline our body. We have to create a disciplinary posture amongst men so we stop this perpetual habit of violating one another. You see, we are in a state of constant violation. And so when brother said love, we don't know how to say, I love you. I am sorry. I mean, listen, this is powerful. I don't know. It's because somebody put this mess in our head that we can't be vulnerable and intimate with each other without it being some fake, some disease madness, some homosexual madness. We can't say I love you to a brother, you see, and really mean it from our heart and our being. Brother Lewis, go right at it, brother.
And this thing that we have, as the brother was talking about, I don't know. I'm sorry. See, believe it or not, we made a mistake 30 or 40 years, 50 years ago, following this idea. They called it integration, but we shut all of our businesses down.
That's right.
And if you think about it, the Black community was the most disciplined community in America at the time.
That's right.
Did you hear what I just said?
Yes, sir. I heard you.
Black history fact. When we went into stores as little boys, we didn't even touch nothing in the store.
That's right.
We didn't go in there tearing up stuff. Our fathers were with us. Now there is a I was reading it actually on my way to the barbershop today. The no man clause, the no man law is what they have called it. You can Google it and look it up, where they wrote a law that it wasn't just a husband that was put out the house. You couldn't have no man in the house, so they took discipline out of our families. Discipline, the ability to repetitiously do something that you don't necessarily like with enthusiasm. That's who we were. Anybody that has learned any sort of martial arts or how to fight, particularly in the boxing gym, you might go in there and they don't teach you anything but one move, how to tuck your chin behind your shoulders, using your shoulders as your shield, and just jab, jab, jab. And once you do, you have to do it till it's natural, you see? So we never heard when we were little boys the type of profanity where you're calling black women bees and each other. You get your teeth knocked out your mouth talking about that's your mama. We weren't like that. That's not how we operated when we were under discipline and structure. We were poor, some of us.
Yes.
Some of us very poor. But what you got to understand is we didn't break in our next door neighbor's house. You could sleep with the doors open or the windows up in the South. If you wanted something, you could go and knock on your neighbor's door, and most of the time they just give it to you. I cut all my neighbor's grass who their husband died or something. I wasn't even allowed to charge them. Discipline. And there are many benefits to being disciplined. When you join the FOI, you have to be disciplined. The brothers are going to take you through the routine. They're going to show you how to search and how to be security minded. All of this is part of getting back to discipline. And you know what? I can remember a black community where a white boy couldn't even come in the community because we seen him as a criminal coming in, because sometimes the Ku Klux Klan would come in and burn and destroy the community. So the young people we were the protectors of the community. How did they turn us against each other?
Teach, brother.
See, these are things that we got to get back to, and we got to talk to our young people about. We never heard of the concept of going around with our pants down, showing our behind. We like to be dignified and decent. We believed in bravado. Bravado is what black men were about, where you respectfully body punched each other in the streets sometimes. You don't see no little boys practicing bravado.
No,
when you pull up your shirt, we wasn't all fat and sloppy. I'm down to probably a 2.5 pack, maybe a 3-pack now.
I'm working on a pack myself.
If you want to wash your clothes, you can rub them across my stomach. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, black man.
And I ain't no slob now.
Come on.
But I got to explain to you what it was like in the black community, because some of us then forgot. You didn't call a black man a B. That'll get you deleted.
That's right.
We can say deleted, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You don't cuss your brother out. You don't. You're not ruled by your emotions like that.
Right.
When you think you can just anything you think, you can just let it blob out of your mouth and think it ain't gonna be no consequences. See, we didn't like that. We didn't tolerate that kind of stuff in our community. And you know what? Our love for each other was much higher. Do you know when they first integrated to school, if a white boy hit a little black boy, first of all, we didn't have a concept that a white boy was going to beat us up. We never, I mean, he must going to have a whole crew and be a really big, and then all the black children would get involved.
That's right.
So they've stripped us of our identity and our discipline by disconnecting us from our fathers. And this is why We Must Be Brothers First is such an important think tank and platform. We have to remember that it was the disciplined black men who couldn't get black loans that pooled their resources together to build Black Wall Street for black women and black children.
Powerful.
And our cheerleaders that inspired us was none other than that beautiful black woman who was disciplined too. These
Come
were
on.
virtuous women.
Come
They
on.
wasn't Cardi B in it.
Come on now.
Few little girls that were a little hot to trot, but for the most part, they hid that. They wasn't
on.
proud to be a promiscuous woman. I'm sorry, this is all part of discipline, brother
Come on.
Mike.
Yes, sir. It is. Every
We
bit
would
of it.
never say when we were disciplined that we were in love with a stripper.
Come
You
on.
know, we used to call them honey buns. They were sweet, man. You remember that, brother
Yes, sir.
John, brother Michael. I
Yes,
know they
sir.
remember it. I ain't never met a man who said he wanted a woman who had lost all of her discipline.
That's right.
Now we got to get back to this. And in order to attract people back to it, they got to understand the benefits of it. And do you know, and I'm going to stop, but I just want to rattle our memory of who we are and what we are about and what our ancestors' constitution was about. When you came
Right.
home from school, you had chores. How many
That's
of
right.
us had our children doing any chores, any work? See,
That's
that was
Right.
responsibility.
That's right.
Right.
Dad didn't cut no grass, John.
That's right. My dad didn't cut any grass either. We cut the
What
grass.
you doing in the yard and you got boys and you cutting the grass, talking about he don't know how to do it. He ain't but 14. Huh? Are you out your
Teach him. That's right.
he should be pushing that lawn more when he's big enough to put it in his hands.
That's right.
Absolutely.
My boy going to college. Good.
Good.
He's still gonna be a man, right?
That's right.
Who's taking the trash out around there? You.
That's right.
After a hard day of work, you gonna go take the trash out? Well, see, when you do that, brothers, you're not teaching your children, and it ain't gotta be your biological child. Any little black boy that you see that's under your roof or in your proximity, he gotta cut the hedges, he gotta cut the grass, and all of this is teaching him responsibility. We have to start doing these little things. And most of us on this call, I've said it before, all of us should have some little boy, and evidently Nathan got a lot of them, that we're mentoring, that we're teaching. Some of us should, if you have some ground, you should grow a little garden and teach him basic gardening, even if he's just responsible for going out there watering the tomato plants daily. There is too much idleness with these little black boys who I'm very passionate about.
Yes, sir.
Because they're labeling them as criminals because they have given all of their money and our tax dollars to a foreign nation. And they've destroyed the economy because they've given this foreign nation, and you know exactly what I'm talking about, all of our resources. And they need a scapegoat to die for the sins that they have committed and the treason they have committed against their own country.
Yes.
And who do you think they want to hang and burn on the altar?
Teach.
Little black boys.
Teach, brother.
They have a clue as to what the enemy is setting them up for right now. This is why when we all get in a room together, we're going to have some people and we're going to talk. There's going to be someone who does a martial arts demonstration. We got to incorporate self-defense in this here.
That's right.
Absolutely.
But we got to leave out of there on the daily basis because you want a replica of what a black man's life really looks like, where we leave out of the talk, which is very necessary. Don't let nobody say we don't need to talk. We just need to know what to talk about.
That's right, brother.
But we leave out of there and we go and we build something.
That's right.
When we build something that we can point to, whether it be in Baton Rouge or whatever city we in, but we got to start somewhere. Then we can bring our cheerleaders back.
Absolutely. And they will be happy.
They'll be so happy. But let me tell you, boy, we got some fine cheerleaders.
We sure do, brother. Let me jump right in there. Let me jump in there, brother Lewis, for a minute. Yeah, because you hitting a lot of beautiful points, beloved. We want you to keep that gun loaded because there's so much more to carry us all the way through this discussion today. But I wanted to just say this: we want to welcome our brothers who are here, on our call for the first time, perhaps. Brother Jonathan, would you like to introduce yourself, brother? We just want to make sure you feel welcome, brother. Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah, for sure. I just got a text, to be honest, and just saw this being interesting. I don't even know whose number who texted me, but I
Okay, okay.
whoever
It
said
was a God, brother. It was a God, brother.
that.
You answered the call of God.
Yes, sir.
But I'm Jonathan. I'm 33.
Okay.
And
Perfect age, brother.
I love what I'm hearing.
Yes, sir.
Every day I'm working to better myself, and
Yes.
like you said, this is an answer for God, and this is a part of that journey. So,
Yeah.
um, I'm just here to soak up
Yes, sir.
everything from you all, because it's a lot of wisdom, and like, again, I'm one of those people, like, I don't know. I want to
Right.
learn. I want to be better, and I'm here to learn from you guys. So I
All right.
appreciate it.
All right. My brother, just so we can make sure we credit our dear beloved brother, not that he's looking for it, but our brother Tony Muhammad invited you on the call. He was brother to text you. So just so you know.
Tony
Yes, sir.
Muhammad.
Yeah,
All
brother
right.
Tony. Yeah, we welcome you.
Jonathan,
Thank you so much. Go ahead, brother.
I'm Andrea's husband. She used to mentor your wife.
Oh yeah, what's up, Tony?
Yeah, so I wanted to make sure that I reached out to my brother. I'll be
I
on
see the
it.
picture now. Yeah. What's
Okay.
up?
All right. Yeah, I just
Yeah.
wanted to make sure I brought my
Yeah.
brother in and introduced
Yes,
you
sir.
to the brothers around here, because the brothers meet from all across the country, and we have a
Yes.
lot of brothers
Yeah.
in your age bracket, and I know you got a
Yeah.
lot to offer, and I'll be on shortly. I'm just getting off work and resolving a couple of things, but I'll be out as well. Yep, I'm
Yes,
glad
sir.
Yes,
that you
sir.
could make it tonight.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Thank you, brother Tony. Thank you, brother Tony.
Go
Yes,
ahead,
sir.
brother Horn.
Yeah.
Brother Horn
All
got
right,
his
brother.
hand up.
Well, yeah, hold on. I want to get to a couple more of the new brothers before we do that. Hold up for a second. Is it brother Brian? Brother
Yes,
Brian.
sir.
Let me receive you, brother Brian. I don't know if
Yes,
you've been
sir.
on before, but I just want to I don't know if you've been on before, but I just want to acknowledge you, brother.
He was on
Yes, sir.
last week.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Oh, you was on last week, brother Brian. That's right. Just
Yes,
want to
sir. I was
acknowledge you
on the week
again,
before.
brother, because I know you did lay out some thoughts, but just again want to make sure you felt welcome again, brother.
Yes,
And
sir. I appreciate it.
yeah,
Yes, sir.
yes, sir. If you want to say anything, you're more than welcome.
I'm glad to be here. I mean,
Yes,
I
sir.
share the same sentiments as the other brother. I tapped in maybe about a few minutes ago, and I mean, the word action is what just comes across my mind more than anything. It's kind of like this is it reminds me when you're setting up like the preparation, the foundation. You know, the foundation is already laid. The wisdom and knowledge and understanding is already intact. So
Yes.
being able to put those things into action, that's what's going to make every one of us be able to come together and be the powerful force that they don't see coming.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Beautiful, brother. Beautiful, brother.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Thank you so much, brother. And
Yes,
then we
sir.
have brother Jack and brother
Keith
Keith.
X. Yes, sir.
Keith X, brother, please.
Yes, sir.
I think brother Mark. I hope I'm saying your name right, brother. iPhone 17. But we want to hear your word. We just want to hear you breathe out, brother, because we go in on this call, and we don't want to leave no brother out. We want to feel all of the vibrations of all of the brothers, So, brother Keith, yes, sir.
Yes,
You want
sir.
to say
Salam
something?
alaikum, brother.
Wa alaikum
Salam alaikum,
salam,
to
black man.
yeah,
Wa alaikum
salam alaikum to
salam.
all the brothers.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
brother, I reached out to brother Tony.
Yes,
Me
sir.
and brother Tony Muhammad have a history. We go way back,
Okay.
and yeah, I hadn't talked to the brother and it's been some months now since I had talked to the brother, and so much has been going on. So I
Yes.
finally reached out to the brother this morning. I was like, man, I'm overdue
Yeah.
to talk with the brother. So I reached out, and he invited me out to the call. So I was
Right.
just sitting here enjoying the moment, listening to the brothers,
That's right.
and
That's what's
trying to get a feel of
yeah.
being in the presence of some good brothers.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, brother.
with
Yes,
so much
sir.
evil, in the air,
Yes.
and I've been on a pretty much where I feel like I ain't gonna say pretty much. I've been on a solitary confinement.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been pretty much where I keep myself secluded, man, from the public right now. Other
Yes.
than when I had to deal with them publicly with my
Yes.
business.
Yes.
But Yeah, I just wanted to reach out and be in the presence of some brothers this evening
Yeah.
and feel the presence and see what was actually going on with the brothers, you know?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, bro,
Yes,
Tony,
sir.
you up here trying to bring more people than me, bro. I'm gonna have to. You got to do something about that, bro, Tony. I appreciate some righteous competition.
I know that's
Anybody
right.
and any other brother think they want to outdo us. Even Brother Lewis and bringing people
Yeah.
in tonight. Okay, we got.
They
Sound
fishing
like we
out
got,
here, brother.
It's gonna be a
look,
challenge to every
we got-
brother, but I'm not gonna let Brother Tony come in here and rule the rookie. You know, I love my brother, but I'm not gonna just let you come here and push me around.
Come on with it. We welcome it. Yeah. So was that somebody else? I know we coming to you, Brother Hoyle. Yes, sir. I don't know the brother Jack. Who is Brother Jack? Here, Marquis.
Dr. Nash is on also.
Yeah, we got Dr.
Hey,
Nash.
Brother
Dr.
Tony.
Nash is staple. Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead, brother.
Dr. Nash. Come on,
Brother Jack.
Yes, how your brothers doing? Again, thank you, Brother Tony, for inviting me to this beautiful group of men. This is something that's most needed, especially like we all understand that the time is now.
Yeah.
I don't want to be long-winded. I just heard so many things. I've heard so many beautiful things tonight from brothers loving on each other, from brothers, being actual humbled and vulnerable and, going through all of the emotions that it's all right for us men to go through.
Yes.
Even us reaching back into going to the barbershops. My work in the community started all the way back in 2011. Gun violence programs, all type of fatherhood programs. But again, I like to now just try to play my part within a actual organization because I realize that the powers are in the numbers. And I realize that a lot of our problems that we are having in these different communities across this nation is because we just don't have this minor bit of unity. I'm talking about minor, because a lot of the money that we're searching for and a lot of these economic problems that we're having, if we could just follow just the simple rules of some of these Amish communities or Jewish communities and allow our money just to go back to ourselves, it'll be an easy thing. Again, here we are, 45 million in just America alone. We can get $1 from each of them. That's
right.
$45 million. That could be a bank for anybody. That could be a hospital for anybody. That could be a learning center for anybody, And again, it just keeps moving from there. As well as here we are coming up on this digital currency. We can be innovative. Here we are controlling a lot of this gross national product.
Yes.
That money that's moving America. The Black community controls that. We spend trillions of dollars, $1 trillion a year.
Facts.
If we can find a way to use that, again, digital currency's on the move. I don't know the answers. Again, I'm just throwing it out there.
Yes.
Here it is. I just think that a lot of our problems can be solved if we just unify.
Yes, sir.
I'm an older brother now, so when it comes to being tapped in with my urgency with this, maybe it's a little more than other brothers, because I know I got more years behind me than I do in front of me.
Right.
Again, I'm only double nickel old. I don't feel it, but I'm just conscious of it.
I'm with you.
So
yes, sir.
So I just want to say that I'm with this fight with y'all. I like the energy in the room. I think it's necessary. Let's just get to work. Like I said, I don't want to extend nobody's resume saying how great we all did, and what the work we did is what we do from today moving forward.
Right.
I land my plane. Assalamu alaikum, brothers.
Well, alaikum salam, brother. Well, let's thank you, brother, for everything that you have done and that you will continue to do, brother. Because that's exactly what we need, and we still in the building process. And I will say that double nickel, brother, you're still young, brother. It's all relativity, and we still some young men, but we got so much more in the tank, because what's happened is over these time periods of life and all that we've gone through and been able to do at certain phases of our lives, we become more seasoned. So we're blessed to have you, brother, and all you brothers to join us, because this is what strengthens the flame. And this is what gets us a stronger position. This is a season where when we use the term, we must first, we are speaking with a sense of urgency. You know, and that's something that we just want to make sure we convey. We are too wise right now. Many of us have grown to be very wise. We're really intelligent now. You know, over these years, we've gone through so many things of seeing so much division, so much foolery in our communities. We have the power right now to start this, what you said, and I appreciate how you said it, just a small, minute unity. We have the power right now to do that and not fail. I'm gonna say that again. We have the power to do it right now, brothers, and not fail.
Right.
There's enough principles working in all of us where we don't have to fail anymore. We are in a season where there is an invincible truth in our presence, in our reality. There's invincible power in our reality, the ability to express that right now. So we're in a season where we don't have to bite our brothers back. We're in a season where we don't have to sell our brother out. We're in a season where we don't have to violate our brother anymore. We don't have to do that anymore. It ain't nothing gonna compel you. You ain't gotta slip and fall and disrespect your brother. We can willfully and intentionally, with power and control, be a brother to a brother. I hope you feel your
Yes,
brother.
sir.
Hoyle, come on with
Yes,
it now.
brother. Brother, can I just say one more
Yes.
thing? I will be
Please.
sorry if I didn't say this.
Yes, sir.
We talked about discipline as well, brothers.
Yes.
And one thing I want to add, and Brother Tony, thank you for allowing me to be part of that group of praying and fasting.
Yes.
There's a group out there called Praying and Fasting. Again,
Yes, sir.
just the actual principles behind it. That
Yes.
fasting, what it can do for you, how it can improve your life, how it brings you so much clarity. You know, again, and it deals with that discipline that we all need. So I just want everyone also to take a look into that fasting, whether you start out small with just some intimate fasting, maybe a little 12 hours here, maybe you do it after a certain time, build it up hour by hour. Next thing you know, anything that's wrong with you, you can heal yourself. 72 hours, 3 days. Look into that, brothers. I land my plane again. Praying fast,
brother. Facts. Absolutely,
Beautiful,
brother. We
brother
receive
Jack.
that
Beautiful.
100%. Absolutely beautiful,
Yes,
brother.
sir.
Brother Hoyle.
Assalamu alaikum, brother. I'm listening to all this good
Walaikum
light in
salam,
this
brother Hoyle. Thank you for
Yes,
being
sir.
patient, brother Hoyle. We
Yes, sir.
appreciate you,
I'm
brother.
telling you, I'm getting all this good light in this dark hour, brother. All the brothers throwing down. John, Lewis, and the new brothers, brother. Shoot, I'm sitting back clapping like I had to put the mute on, clapping so much.
Yes, sir.
Y'all throwing down. John,
yes, sir.
Throwing flame. So Lynn Lewis and everybody, you yourself and
praise
all
be to
other brothers and Tony and whatnot. But brother, you know, you started out with the word love, and this is coming from the final call, and I'm at work, so I'm gonna get it right quick, and I'm gonna be listening after that.
Yes.
But this is very important. I thought this is gonna be real quick. This is from his lecture called "The Meaning of Love." He was talking to a sister, and he said, "Brother Mike," he said, "You know, sister, the more I fell in love with me," this is Minister Farrakhan talking, "the more I could demonstrate love for you, because you and I are from the same source. The more I could fall in love with me, and not in a vain way, the more I could love Allah God who created me." And soon, he said, "I'll be 70 years old." This was done a while back, and I'm just learning how to love. And it's a long distance, brother, but it's better to learn at 70 than never to learn at all. Then he said, listen to this. "I told sister, go home and write down all the things about yourself that you love. And everything about yourself that you love is of Allah God. And on the other side, write down the things about yourself that you don't like, and that what you got to work on in order to love yourself more. Until you do that, you can't love people any more than you can love yourself." And and he said, "And you cannot love Allah God any more than you can love yourself." And this is the way the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad is the greatest message that you can receive, because in a profound knowledge of God and the profound knowledge of self, you can only love yourself based upon what you know of yourself. Wow. So I say this is so perfect. This comes from The Meaning of Love, the latest final call in the Middle East. So you can get it and go online, finalcall.com, and pull it up. But this is a perfect, it goes on what the subject you were talking about, Brother Michael. And I'm just listening, all the brothers are throwing high vibration out. And like Brother John was saying today, we're in these desperate times. And we are the light, Mr. Farrakhan, in this dark hour. Brother Lewis, what he's doing, all the brothers, and we just get together and whatever talents brother have, we get together and put it together, and let's make it, because we're going to be the ones that's going to save our people. The ones that
Absolutely.
we're doing with the land, the
Absolutely,
food,
brother.
and with the high vibration and saving
Absolutely.
our people, making our
Absolutely.
communities a decent and safe place to
Absolutely.
be. There ain't gonna be no niggas, excuse my language, just say
That's right.
N-word stuff. You know, there ain't
That's
gonna be
right.
no N-word life. All that stuff
That's
gonna
right.
stop. We're gonna treat it like you said, Brother Michael. We're gonna treat each other as we want to be treated ourselves, and it's gonna be a beautiful community. But brothers, I'm at work and I love all this high vibration. It's like I said, brother said the brotherhood. So I don't want to be up here taking a whole lot of time. So I
Thank you, Brother Hoyle.
love the high vibration, brother.
Thank you for dropping that bomb on us, man. And you did like James Brown, brother. You dropped it and then dropped your cape and walked out here.
Well, I'm a nigga fan. I said, thank you. I'm so love y'all.
Alex, I love you too, brother. Listen, brother, that's right on point. You know, I was thinking a few moments back, it might have been triggered by Brother Nathan, but you know, the scripture says no discipline, no love, you know. And
That's
if
right.
you and I remember the minister actually taught lectures on that. But no discipline. If you won't discipline yourself, you don't love yourself.
Oh,
You know, I was
yeah.
looking, I
That's
was
right.
in there, you know. So I've learned, and I'm learning. You know, man, boy, that, you know, brothers, I'm getting these songs popping up in your head, so y'all forgive your brother because it is a high vibration going on. And I think that Allah is certainly answering our prayer. But you know, that song, I've learned to respect the
Yeah.
power of love, right? You know what I'm saying? You know, it all starts with self-discipline. And this is what has to happen with us as Black men all the way across the board again. We have to be extraordinarily disciplined. I'm riding with my son today. We moving around, you know, and we having these very heavy discussions. And I'm starting to see, you know, we have to pay attention to our seed, you know, and we're responsible for our seed. But one of the things I realized, I can't tell this young man nothing if I am not exemplifying what's coming out of my mouth. Today's generation of young people, the ones that we can put, that have a lot of power in them, they need to see us exemplify what it is that we say come out of our mouth. We have to break up the hypocrisy. Listen, this is what a pillar is, because we're on this subject of pillars, and I want to keep building, and I want you brothers to just shoot the thoughts into this process because it's so important. But a pillar is this is the physical version of it, and then we'll get to the figurative. It says a pillar is a structure, element, typically a column or stone, metal or wood, designed to support a roof or a bridge. That's relative to everything that we're talking about right now, because we have to provide a pillar. We all have to become pillars. Some brothers may be more pronounced in the area of discipline and this way, discipline in that way, may be a master builder. This brother may have great wisdom and may be a scholar, but all pillars that we lean on. Figuratively, it says it refers to a fundamental principle or a person who provides essential support and stability to a group or an institution. You see, we have to become pillars of our community again. And this is why there's so much fragmentation, there's so much confusion, so much chaos, because Black men, we have been unfortunately away from our assignment in that regard of being pillars of our community. You know, we have to be unapologetic about the authority that has been vested in us as Black men. You know, so that's why this conversation, these conversations are so important, brother Lewis. You know, it's why this what we're doing is so important. Go ahead.
You just hit something so powerful from my side of the fence, because I'm into building.
Yeah.
I want you to read that definition one more time.
Yes, sir. Yes,
of
sir.
a pillar, because I'm going to raise a question that I want us to consider about what you just said.
Yes, sir.
So please read it and turn up your mic so the people in the back can hear you.
I certainly will, my brother. Okay. A pillar is a vertical structural element, typically a column of stone, metal, or wood, designed to support a roof, a bridge. Figuratively, it refers to a fundamental principle or a person who provides essential support and stability to a group or an institution.
That's deep.
Powerful.
Let me tell you why it's deep. When you build a bridge, you don't build up first, you build down first.
Mm.
And you never even see what's underneath. But what's underneath carries the weight.
Mm.
I used to do, I've done several foundations for Starbucks that have high roofs. You put steel in the ground and you pour concrete pillars for the actual concrete form to set on top of the pillar. I want us to all have like a builder's mind and start thinking about and considering how you build things. You don't build things. And I told Brother John, me and Brother John was in conversation with someone today. I said, we don't build from the top down. We build from the bottom up. And a lot of times when someone becomes great without the proper fundamental principles and pillars up under them, whether they be a rich athlete or a rich entertainer, you just get $50 million, $100 million laid on you, and you don't have the proper foundation to withstand the weight that your ego alone can put on you for having that kind of wealth without growing it from the bottom up.
That's right.
Brother Nathan was mentioning about stuff we don't say, but underneath what he's saying that we don't say, like, I'm sorry, I don't know. See, there's a lack of foundational pillars, and one of these pillars is humility.
Come on.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
The number one song in the church in the 1920s and the 1930s, the number one gospel song was Kumbaya, my Lord. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes. Come by here.
Kumbaya, my Lord. Kumbaya.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Kumbaya, my Lord. And they would sing this for extended periods of time.
Yeah.
Pleading for the Spirit of God to be with them. They were a humble people, but they were building off the plantation without education, without the right to vote, without even being able to go in a bank. But they had humility. And the humility, when Minister Farrakhan writes us letters, he never signs the letter, your teacher. He's your master. He signs the letters, your servant. Your servant, Louis Farrakhan. He's a teacher, but he's a servant. He's not a slave.
That's right.
See, slaves don't learn properly because you do everything, to Brother Nathan's point, Brother John's point. You don't do it with the spirit of love. You do it begrudgingly. It's somebody forcing you to go to work, putting a whip on you, or you don't want to be stripped of your financial resources that make people look at you in a way that make them think you a big shot need to grow. Has a position at the bank, or you're a politician, lawyer, doctor, whatever you call yourself. If you don't get these fundamental pillars, Brother Michael, under the foundation, when the weight of what can be taken from us, our wealth, we can be stripped of our wealth. We can be stripped of our health.
Come on.
Get a divorce. Men go through things, and most Black men die alone.
Yes.
Right.
Nobody comes to visit Black men. Some Black men's children don't even speak to them.
Teach, brother. Facts. Teach.
Because our image as well as ourselves, we have been slandered and demagnetized to where we can't pull even our children. We can't hardly call a dog in our proximity. How do we get it back? We can't build it by getting a nice car and a nice house. That's not real love. If you're a smart man, you don't ever go into no relationship telling a woman or nobody how much money you got.
That's right.
Keep that stuff out the way, because they're attracted to material things. They're not attracted to the underlying fundamental principles and pillars that really make us great again. So when you said pillar, and as somebody who builds stuff, it just kind of struck me.
Yes, sir.
In a different kind of way, because I know that if we don't get these fundamental pillars, so there should never be a time when you're thinking about me stealing your money.
That's right.
See, fundamental pillars. We don't steal from one another.
That's right.
You shouldn't have to worry about he got a little daughter and I'm over there flirting with his daughter.
That's
trying
right.
to misuse and deflower the daughter. See, these are pillars. Tony or no one shouldn't have to worry about me backbiting him. When you say Assalamu alaikum, it means peace be unto you. It means that you don't have to worry about me doing these type of evil things to you. And there was a time when I could shake your hand and we shook each other's hand. We didn't even have a contract, man. Our word was our bond. We did a show on that, Brother Michael.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
These are pillars. You should feel bad if you lie.
Yes.
Nathan said he'd come. He came tonight. So that's showing you that he believes in his word. How can your word be bond if you keep breaking your word?
That's right.
You need to be so passionate. But when you talk about pillars,
bring it. Yes.
See, what makes men is not big checks and big money and all that. They got a lot of rotten people with money.
Come on, brother. Come on.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
Yeah,
men have to get back to the point to where we're the kind of men that live and die on what we believe.
That's right.
And look, I'm going to close it with this, and we need to bring this back.
Yes.
I was talking to some old Muslims. This is back in like 1993. Very knowledgeable. And he said that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught them in the FOI class to say these words. I don't believe that nobody, to the police, I don't believe that, because they banned Islam in Louisiana at that time. And he taught them to say this. I don't believe that nobody can kill me except for it pleases God. They said Allah. And if it pleases Allah, it pleases me also. That's a pillar. And that's how men become great. You have to have something that you believe in strong enough that you'll live and die on it. And you don't have to be no big old brother, but you got to protect your family. And you're not protecting your family just physically. We have to get back to protecting our women and our children psychologically.
Wow.
And spiritually.
And spiritually.
Yes.
And mentally.
Come on, brother.
Looking at the curriculum of what you teaching, got a homo, what they call it, a transgender, reading stories to your little boy or little girl. They're not Nathan.
Come on, brother.
Mentoring them. They're corrupting them.
That's right.
But because you want a job, you sit back and zip your mouth and not say a one word because you are up here, but you don't have nothing under here.
That's right.
Pillared that can keep you to the standard that really is what a man is. See, when we walk in the room, we got to be men again.
That's
and you
right,
can't
brother.
be a man without those pillars, brothers.
That's right.
I just want to put that in there.
Brother, of course you can. Of course you can. Then we're going to run to Brother Tony.
I know Brother Tony was going, I didn't want him to burn me up too bad. So he come with some fire. He framed it up. Lewis sparked something that I had wrote down as a question, and I'm going to read it. Yes. And I don't know why it came up, and I was saying I wasn't even going to read it, but the question is, because I've been saying this about Black men doing appraisals of themselves. Yeah. That's it. And the appraisal was, which one of these 5 pillars that we've currently brought up tonight is a weak point in your life? I'm not asking you to answer that. I'm asking you to do a self-assessment.
Mm.
And what is the specific daily habit you are committing to tonight to strengthen it?
Brother.
Take that and work on that, brother. Yes, sir.
Brother John, that was beautiful, brother. Thank you so much. Thank you for, again, bringing us into that orbit, because that is where we activate. Brother Lewis, you hit a note so tough.
Yes, sir.
Brother, you hit a note so tough, brother. We're coming right to you, Brother Tony, but I just want to kind of just make a quick point on something Brother Lewis was saying that was just phenomenal, and that is coming to this core value of humility, coming to this core value of humility. And it made me think of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And it just made me want to take a quick pause to be grateful for such men as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, because they have been that. They have been those whom we can lean on. Right now, we as young, I come into this process as a young man. I leaned on what that Black man who endured so much. He had to be strong. As we grow, you can start to witness just from our using of knowledge that we have now, how strong that Black man was and is. You see what I'm saying? You have to be able to accept that no matter what your faith tradition is, just as a brother, just look at it from the lens of being a brother. You see, I have such a great, just in this moment, like a wind of gratitude for the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad all over again. And I thought about the lessons of what we were taught in the FOI in our general orders, because we're talking about becoming pillars and discipline. And the first general order that we was given is to take charge of this post
and all
ourself and all temple property in view. Temple property in view. We got to get knowledge, which we come into that as our next principle. But they said, then walk our post in a perfect manner, keeping always on the alert. My goodness, Brother Tony, come right in, brother. Yes, sir. Brother,
is Brother Tony there?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, yes, family. I'm here. I'm just I got the Holy Ghost. I've been jumping up and down. Brother Lewis came through, boy, that was electrified. I said, oh man, they giving me the ghost. I told myself I wasn't gonna say nothing tonight. I was gonna let it play its course, boy. But the brother put the cables on me, and I said, man, don't let me jump out here too fast. Oh man, I just love it, because what y'all talking about is what I tell the brothers all the time. That when I teach the younger brothers, one of the main discussions that we have is always dealing with pillars, which is basically the foundation upon which civilizations stand. And those pillars that y'all are talking about is nothing other than civics. And that's why I always go back to that, because the root of civilization, the same root word for civics, is the civil. But the only way to understand what civility actually looks like, you have to understand it in God's creation. There was a man by the name of Dean Ackerson. He wrote a book entitled In the Beginning of Creation. And in that book, In the Beginning of Creation, he wasn't talking about the creation of the world. He was talking about the creation of nations. And in 1970, he won a Pulitzer Prize for his foundational work in civics and helping to establish the United Nations, helping to write the Marshall Plan, helping to establish the European Union. It was phenomenal, because what he did was he went back to the original idea of the founding fathers upon which a nation should stand. And that original idea, a lot of people don't know it, and I say it at the risk of being redundant, that it's rooted in Sharia law, which is the law of God himself. And you cannot have a civilization without understanding God's law. But when you go back to the root of the civilization, you have to begin in the home. That's why Brother Lewis and Brother John, they was talking about things that resolve around a person's character, the things,
Yes.
and Brother Mike, when you was talking about the person's ability to depend on you and your
Yes.
reliability and you keeping
Yes.
your word, because when a person keeps his word, that understands that you understand that this person is not only committed and persistent to what's coming out of his mouth, but he is more importantly aware of the words that are coming out of his mouth. This is why people don't, their word is not bond, because they're not aware of the words that are coming out of their mouth. And when you
That's
go
right.
back and take that to the home,
Come
this is
on.
why their divorce happens in the home, because men and women who get married, they're not cognizant of the word that they made to one another. See, when you look at the civics, when it deals with the institution of marriage, see, the woman has been she's been looked at now as being translated into a homemaker as a position of weakness, when people did not know that that was the woman's strength, because in her home she is the foundational stone, whereas the man is the capstone. But as a foundational stone, the woman is the only one who has the power to break the home. Therefore, she has the power to break civilization. That is how strong she is. That's why in the book Psychological Warfare by I think it's Michael Fian, but they talk about why they attack the woman first. Because when your woman does not cover you, your woman can be your biggest betrayer, the men's biggest betrayer. So they know that if I can get the woman to compromise, like Brother Lewis was talking about, she going out here, and the sisters of old, how they remember their mother's skirts, as they said. They would pull down the hem of their garment, meaning they would cover their shame. They wouldn't raise their dress for everybody to see their
Come
backside.
on.
They had some self-esteem, self-respect. But when they took that away from her,
That's
they
right.
allowed everybody access to the most sacred part of her body, which is
Holy
her
of
womb.
holies.
And
Yes, sir.
so now when she is no longer sacred and she is devalued, that entire civilization gets devalued. And then what happens is the eroding of the pillars that civilization is
Come
supposed to
on with it,
stand
brother.
on. And so what they did was, not only did they take the woman out of the house, they took God out of the house, because in Robert Payne, the European historian who wrote Ancient Greece, he said that they took God out of the sciences of life. They institutionalized him in a traditional setting and made people think that they had to go to the mosque, the church, the synagogue to find God, when God was supposed to be in the very discipline and house in which you dwelled. So now when you go outside of your home looking for God, you have a home that is lost now. Because you cannot have a home built on foundational principles of the primordial nature of man, which is nothing more than the nature of God himself. That's why in the Holy Quran it says, this day have I what? Perfected for you your religion, and what? Chosen for you Islam as a religion. Not that it is a religion, but I'm choosing it as a religion.
As a
Why?
religion.
Because it is the nature of God in which he created man. So
Come
now,
on.
if it is as a religion, then when the mistake that we make is when we follow people who did not know God, like Europe, like Robert Payne said in ancient ancient Greece, that the Europeans had a childlike curiosity for the ancient civilizations of Africa when they were coming out of the hills and cave sides of Europe. So they didn't understand that. So what they did was they institutionalized God. So now you go into universities, now you go
Teach.
into theological schools and seminaries to study God as an abstract idea. But to the original people, God was not an abstract idea. He was a personal part of our very walk. And
Come
so
on.
now we allow people to interpret for us who and what God is, when our fathers understood in our natural state, your personal relationship with God has nothing to do with me. My personal relationship with God has nothing to do with you. And they respected whatever God was doing with you. He was doing it for the best of his ummah, or his community, his civilization. And we lost that. Now we think if you're not a Christian, you're not a believer in God. If you're not a Muslim, you're not a believer in God. If you're not a Jew or a Hebrew Israelite, you're not a believer in God. When God had nothing to do with the institutions that man made, and this is why Paul said to the men in Athens, "Oh, you men in Athens, know you not that God that you seek dwells not in temple made by hands, but his dwelling place is where? Perfect man." So civilization was always designed to get man in a more perfect state so that he can be what he was created to be, the glory of God, and emulate God to his fellow men among him. But now what we are doing is we are allowing, it's good to have teachers. We all need teachers. As the minister said, in the cycle of life, we need teachers to rely on, to depend on, like parents, until we get our legs under us. But once we get our legs under us, nobody is better at interpreting your life and your life experiences like you. That is why you do not disregard the intellectual properties from your emotional responses to your personal experience that God gives you. Because Moses not going to see your life like you saw it. King Solomon, who was considered to be the wisest, is not going to see your life like you saw it. Jesus, Isa ibn Maryam, he's not going to see your life like you saw it. Prophet Muhammad is not going to see your life like you saw. Buddhist the Great is not going to see your life like you see it, because it is a emotional or spiritual response to your personal experience that God wants something to crystallize in your mind. But now we don't have the appreciation. See, this is why the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is so important, Brother Mike, that when you say we must first be brothers, the first is that I see God in you before we ever start on anything else. If we do not start there, we'll end somewhere else. But the start is I first see God in my brother. And that then, Brother Lewis, makes everything sacred that my brother has. That's what the Sharia law is all about. That's what civics is all about. Everyone becomes sacred in that brotherhood, because I know that at any given time, God will utilize the perfect vessel that is my brother to speak to me, to give me an understanding of something that I cannot see in this moment in time. This is why we honor prophets and apostles, because these were men who sacrificed themselves, as Brother Mike said, to clean themselves up, to make themselves a vessel in which their spirit can flow through. But that is not something that was sacred or specific to them. That's right. That's why the man said, not only did Paul say, let this mind be in you, the same that is in Christ Jesus, but Jesus himself said, Isa ibn Maryam himself said, greater works than these. Don't marvel at what I do, but greater works than these will you do if what? If you believe. But the belief comes in acknowledging. Because we encourage our brother. When I tell you I see God in you, what does that do? That encourages you. When you tell me you see God in me, what does that do? That encourages me, that fortifies me, and that gives us the strength that we are. Don't forget this now. We are in this black man is in a hostile environment. We are up under a natural enemy, and we have been able, by God's grace and mercy through our experiences, to move with wisdom, but we are in a hostile environment. We are at war, and it will stagger your mind when you start to read the books on social engineering to see the tremendous effort that this man made for black men not to see each other properly, and for the black woman not to see herself properly. And that's why when she goes into the home, she feels confined rather than protected. Because she thinks that I have to be free to go out here and be a freak and do all of this foolishness and filth that I see the slave master and his children doing. And she does not understand that she was not a vessel made for destruction. She was not a vessel made for desecration. She was a vessel made for sacredity. And so she has to be protected, because she is far more valuable than the woman of this world. And we make the mistake of allowing her to compare herself with this woman and even put that woman on her level when this woman, this white woman, this Caucasian woman is not on the level with the black woman.
That's right.
I'm just saying God does not see her on the level that he sees the black woman. He calls the black woman the mother of God. You see what I'm saying? But he does not refer to this Caucasian woman. But I didn't want to go on there. But Brother Lewis
is right where you were supposed to be at, Brother Tony.
Praise be to Allah. Because Brother Lewis said some important things when it came down to that. And this is why when we understand what civics is, the legislative branch, the executive branch, the judicial branch, God has that branch set up in his creation. And without it, his creation does not work properly. And this is why when he set up the caliphate for man to stand in his place, he encouraged the Holy Prophet 1400 years ago that don't stop until these institutions are implemented, because if you do not have proper judges, if you do not have proper executors, if you do not have impartial people who can look and see these things and not take favoritism, then you can correct the imbalance in creation. Do you see the extraordinary power that God puts in our hands? But because we have been taught not to trust ourselves, we have been taught that we are not trustworthy, not because anything that we have done, because everything that we have done can be traced back to the social engineering of the American Negro that this white man has made. And we can never forget that. Too often we let him off of the hook. You know, we let him off of the hook when this man knows exactly what he's doing and how he's maneuvering us to keep our eyes off of the prize and bicker and fight one with another, when he knows that there's a clip of a man, and I end on this point, who was arguing with John F. Kennedy. And some of y'all who are older than me will probably have seen these clips before, but it blew my mind that this white boy was arguing with John F. Kennedy. And he said this in a meeting. He said that we had worked hard to keep the Negro from knowing himself. Now, we all know what Henry Berry said in 1822 when he said, we have, as far as possible, closed our avenue by which light may enter into the slave's mind. And if we could destroy their ability to even perceive the light, then we will have conquered them, completed our job, and we will be safe. But in 1962, this man made this argument against Kennedy that if you wake the black man up to who he truly is, we will lose everything. And that is why the world, don't be blindsided by what's going on in Iran. All of these things is happening, but all of these things are happening as we are the pebble that was cast at the near shore that is causing this ripple effect that has become this great tsunami of injustice that is consuming the entire world. And as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, that it comes back to the injustice to the black man in America. If it does not get made right, the entire world will suffer. And it is by no mistake that they were at the United Nations talking about this black man in America while we playing video games, while we going to these jobs, while we keeping our head in the sand. And everybody voted that, we got to do something about it, except for three nations: the United States, Argentina, which is was a refuge for Nazi runaways who were hiding from persecution, and Israel. And of course, we knew that they would vote against it. But this thing is about us. We on track, doing what we supposed to do, because we have to go into this thing sober-minded, because the way this thing is shaping up right now, not only are we going to be the new rulers in the new world, as it was prophesied, these people don't want the job anymore. Salam alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Absolutely phenomenal, bro. Absolutely. I said, I couldn't even get the words out good, bro. Listen, praise be to Allah. Absolutely phenomenal, brother. Which really folds right into, and I'm coming right to you, Brother Jay, because I see your hand up. I'm coming right to you, black man. Folds right into what this second pillar, which they all bleed right into one another that we discussing, and that's is knowledge. And it's so important that we have a comprehensive knowledge. It's amazing, Brother Tony, you were talking, and I was writing down that quote where the enemy said that he would cut off every avenue of light from reaching the mind of the slave. And I'm like, wow. See, he's blocking knowledge so that we will not be able to be principled. When you cut off every avenue of knowledge, see, this enemy understands. I was riding with my son. I said, son, you see that building over there? You see that business over there? I said, that's not just a regular business. I said, the Caucasian that built that business, he had intelligence. I'm not just talking about regular knowledge, like how to do business. He had to be operating on some level of science and wisdom in order to put together that system, which is called a business that made it profitable and successful. See, so this is one of the sciences that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that he kept from us, which was the science of doing business, the science of warfare, the science of mating. These all avenues being cut off from the black man is what has kept us under his tutelage, under his power, under his thumb, and under his, what I call, hierarchy. And as we were talking, I was thinking about what is happening in this moment, in this discussion, in this process of we must first be brothers. And something that is very intentional in these discussions, and that is the removal of this Eurocentrically driven hierarchy. You see, this is what has corrupted organizations, especially black organizations, because we come into an organization and we still have a European mindset in regards to leadership, in regards to brotherhood, in regards to business and everything. So we come in with a hierarchical mind, which is what Iblis was in the Quran when he said, I am better than he. So while we were talking, I was thinking, Brother Tony, while you were dropping, because Brother John and I said we need to have you do a masterclass on the subject of civics itself because of how powerful this subject is, and we don't want to miss this. And then how you're tying or making the key point about Sharia is also very important. Most of us don't understand that the system of the European rule has been based in knowledge that comes from the original man. Otherwise, he could not even have propped up a society. He had to use foundational truth and wisdom from the original man in order to make a society. Otherwise, there would be nothing, because everything that exists has to come from the wisdom and the knowledge of the original man. Let me sing it from the mountaintop, brother. The black man is God. And see, we got to get to a point where we can accept that and not fear some religious mindset about it as if we're in some kind of way being sacrilegious. We have to accept that as a 100% reality and truth. As we understand that that is the knowledge, the trail and the path of knowledge will lead us to that understanding. It is clear. And that is not about being braggadocious. It's not about being vain. It has nothing to do with all those cheap feelings and emotions and positioning. It has everything to do with the actual reality and fact of everything that exists in life. And we have to accept that actual fact, truth, as black men. The more we accept that, then the more we will start to come into that acceptance in the reality and have access, gain access to that power that's in us. It has to be unlocked. But it is not unlocked with mere belief. It is unlocked with knowing. And once we get to the position where we know, then we are on top. Look, what is the word hierarchy? I thought about it and I said, let me go look up the word hierarchy, because this is the disease that's plaguing us even in brotherhood, why we can't have strong pillars, because we got European diseased hierarchy. The word hierarchy itself is not horrible in its just the definition according to what we have of the word, but it's the culture and the system driving the hierarchy. And in our instance, it's always been white people. This is why every time a black man get ahead, he starts to look down on his brother. A hierarchy is a system of ranking people, objects, or ideas in order of importance. I ask the question, whose importance? Authority, who gave the authority, or rank, where every entity is subordinated to another, it structures organizations, societies, and concepts by defining levels of authority, providing clear chains of command, decision-making power, and orderly structure. This is what you were talking about earlier, Brother Lewis and Brother Tony. You know, this is what you were talking about earlier, Brother Lewis, when we were talking about what happens sometime within the body of those, the systems that we come out of or we connected to. You have hierarchy mindset, so there is no room and no place for real brotherhood. So, Brother Tony, you're 100% right. If I can't look over at the black man, and we were talking about this too, Brother Lewis, it was interesting because we were mentioning this. If I can't look over you and look at you and have respect for you, not come to you as if you are an imbecile, as if you know nothing, but come to you with the mind and the observance that you are a God, that you have power in you, that you have wisdom in you, and let me come with that level of humility and respect. If I don't come, then I'm coming with a hierarchical mindset that is cultured by Satan. And therefore, I can't look at my brother properly and see God. You see, I can't look at you and see that you are brilliant. I'm looking at you and say, oh, you just work in the field, Brother Lewis. You just got on some boots and some, I don't realize that you know the science of laying a foundation that we all can walk on, that build a house, to build a home. That you understand the foundation of building pillars that will give us covering, give our families covering. You know, see, so this is where we have to really go to war, in my humble view. And I'm coming to you, Brother Jay. We have to go to war, lest we take on the mind of our enemy. We can create a righteous hierarchy, but we don't even have to do it, because if we are righteous, then it happens organically and naturally because we are seeking God all the time. Therefore, when God show up, when Allah show up in the person of Brother Tony, I don't have any problem bowing and submitting to what I'm seeing. I don't have any problem of bowing and submitting to Allah in the person of Brother Brian, or Brother Jack, or Brother Frank, or Brother Daryl, or Brother John, because I'm open for that, and I expect that to happen. I expect that to happen. I don't just hope and have to situate my mind or be humble. I expect that God can show up in the black man at any point that he so chooses. Listen, so I close with this and come to Brother Jay. It made me think. I thought about this a little earlier, Brother Lewis, when Brother Lewis was talking, and I'm thinking about this world. Humpty Dumpty. You remember the story of Humpty Dumpty? See, this is the mindset that has to be destroyed. Is that mindset, because it is an unsustainable mind. So, Brother Lewis, when you said a foundation is built from the bottom, note here that Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. You see, he sat on top of that which was built. And he was Humpty, meaning he was fat, that he didn't take care, undisciplined, unbridled, self-conceited, arrogant, and vain. He thought that he was better. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall, is what we were taught. And then it said that Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. See, because that attitude and that spirit can only lead to a fall when the head is so big that it does not respect the foundation. Brother Jay, come on in there, soldier. Hope I didn't stretch you out too long. Yo, Jay.
Brother Jay.
Where you at, Brother Jay?
Hey,
Yo,
Brother
Jay.
Jay, I think he's gone, bro.
Oh, we lost him? Okay, I'm sorry, man. We missed him. Okay, well, hopefully, inshallah, he'll be back. But, you know, brothers, this is where we are. You know, we have to establish these principles, because this is what everything is built on. If we don't have principles among men and that become pillars out of those principles, then we can't establish a real world that we can be sustained by. Brother Daryl, you in the building? Brother Frank, you brothers like to weigh in, man. We want to make sure we hear from our beloved brothers. If is anything that you all would like to say. Brother Frank? Brother Daryl? Walaikum salam, sir.
Enjoying the call like always. Everybody's hitting on a lot of good points. When we're talking about the pillars, and I was just going through the FY Student Officers Training Manual, and I was just looking at some of the stuff that they were talking about, and each and every one of you have touched on this, but I'll just read a little bit of it just to show that what everybody's saying, we're right on point. It said Allah says in the Quran, you see all the planets, but you don't see the pillars holding them up, but they're all stayed in their orbits. There's an unseen force that's keeping these planets in order that secures their motion. The principles are called the pillars of our faith. Paul says faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Without faith, you can bring into existence the unseen. There's a saying that if you can conceive it and believe it, you can achieve it. So the first thing is to give the picture of what God came to make you. I want you to get the picture now of what an FOI is. The picture is a man like there never was on the planet in this world's time. He's a God. He is in the image and in likeness. He's the vicegerent of God. According to the Holy Quran, he stands in the place of God. That's a heavy-duty man. So if you got that image, the next thing to do is, do you believe it? That's faith. The substance of things hoped for. Do you hope to achieve it? How strong is your hope? How strong is your faith? Then if your hope is there and your faith is there, then what you can conceive, you can and will achieve. So stop saying that you can't, because God says be and it is. You can't be in the classroom of God talking about what you can't do. All things are possible with Christ. So with the faith you now have to develop it, because with it you will be able to extract from the universe all of its treasures, or enough of them to make your life worthwhile. So we have everything that we need, brothers.
Absolutely.
And like you said, all we gotta do is put it in action.
Yes, sir.
And I'm looking forward for us to do what we need to do, brothers. And like I said, I'm enjoying this call, and it just made me think. I was like, hold on a sec. I seen that just when, like I said, I'm starting to get in here about studying and everything.
Yes,
man,
yes.
And like I said, like I said, man, just like Brother Tony said, man, I was just sitting back, but man, I'm over here like, man, just bouncing off the wall over here like I just drank an energy drink, man. It's a good feeling, brothers. It's a good feeling.
Sir.
So,
yes, sir.
But like I said, there's nothing more powerful than a made up mind. So we just need to do what we need to do.
Absolutely. Thank you
Well,
so
thank you,
much.
brothers.
Thank you so much, Brother Frank, because that was total enlightenment and confirmation that we own the right energetic realm and foundation, brother. Brother Daryl, 7X in the building. Where you at, brother?
Right here. Assalamu alaikum, brothers.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.
I don't have much to say, brothers. It's just that I too am enjoying the conversations on a weekly basis or whenever I'm able to get on.
Yeah.
And there's so much to learn, so much. And like tonight, I picked up on, like for myself personally, I think it was Brother Lewis that said, we must learn to accept that the black man is God. We hear that a lot, but how many of us have accepted it personally? Yes. And believe that? And so, and then he went on to say, it's not braggadocious. And then I wrote for myself personally, it's establishing a standard of behavior and conduct and execution that we're going to have to embrace. And that's the standard, to accept that we are a God, not the God, but a God.
God. Yes.
And then someone said the word Khalifa, we are the representative of God once we grow into that. And with that mindset, with that understanding and acceptance that we are God, we can move in that way. So that's the standard. And also I like to point to where it said that when you're building a foundation, like for a bridge or I guess for anything, you go down first before you build up. I thought that was amazing. And if you apply that to the work what we're trying to do in our community, we go to the downtrodden first, or more, seem like. Sir, Okay,
I'm
so
bearing witness. That's right.
oh yes, sir. And so I'm trying to absorb what I'm hearing and just trying to learn.
Yes.
It's a very good conversation.
Could
And
That's
I?
all I have to say.
You're hitting it beautifully, Brother Daryl. Thank you. That's why it's so
Yes, sir.
important that we hear from our brothers, because
That's
just
right.
what you shooting back at us is powerful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we all being taught this is a circle of
That's
brotherhood.
right.
You know,
That's right.
and whatever a brother says out of his mouth, you don't know how it's going to spark something in one of us. Hell, even if we may be seemingly more talkative in aspects, but we're all feeding, brother. We feeding off each other's energy, because as we said, the black man is God. And
Could
this is
I?
why we have to unite. Yes, sir, Brother Lewis, jump right in.
It's so important what Brother Daryl said. See,
Yes.
we have to get each other in fight shape,
That's right.
spiritual fight shape, mental fight shape. And that's the reason why I was talking to Brother Nathan in the barbershop, and I was pleasantly surprised. Do you know how difficult it is to get brothers to talk on a higher frequency? Can you tell the energy that's on here tonight?
Yes, yes.
We should ask each other. And when you hear Brother Tony quoting from different books, see, when I joined the Nation and Dr. Khaled was teaching around in different ones, they would refer you to a book to read. I'm going to stop and I'm going to ask. Let's do a roll call, because I know we're a little bit over, Brother Michael, and I don't want to wear the brothers out.
Right.
How many of us as brothers are reading books and studying every day? I'll raise my hand. Call the roll, Michael. Let's go to our brothers. I want to know that, because I want to know what kind of shape we're in.
Yes.
In terms of fight shape, and we're preparing ourselves to go on a real serious mission.
Absolutely.
Where it ain't going to be just you or I talking or John talking, but all of us we were taught to be able to speak the proper language to our people. So call the roll, Brother Michael.
All right, brother. Of course, brother Daryl. You just show of hands. You can raise your hand or show your hand.
How often do you read?
How often do you read and study, brother?
Whether you're a Muslim, Christian, it doesn't matter. How often do you read and study?
Well, in true, brother, I have fallen off in terms of reading and studying, and I know I should. I just have not. But I just remember something. Y'all spoke on being disciplined earlier in the conversation, and so I've lacked discipline. I do lack discipline in terms of studying like I should. I bought all these books, but I have not availed myself to the books.
Yeah,
you know, and it's like I'm collecting books, but I've not been applying the books.
Well,
I
praise
started.
be to Allah, brother Daryl.
Oh yes, sir.
Yeah. And I just want, I don't, you know, we ain't here to bury you, you know, but we're here to build, you know, and that's the thing about it. And that's why I'm just kind of pulling you up out of that principle. And I was just going to say this to add to that. It's a beautiful starting point right now, you know, and that's all I'm going to say to that. It's a beautiful opportunity right now. But the other thing I will also say, my beloved brother, is that you're on this call. So this is a book itself that you are starting to participate in the reading process, and hopefully it will inspire us all to go study. I listen to Brother Lewis, I listen to Brother Tony, I listen to Brother John. Sometimes these brothers, these are some heavyweight brothers, you know, and they'll get to dropping something, quoting something that I ain't never heard in my life, you know, and I'm inspired now to go dig in, or we'll send each other things that push our thought process. So praise be to Allah. We're gonna keep it rolling. Go ahead,
I'm
brother.
saying it to Brother Daryl. He's showing you his humility because he's honest.
Yes.
But I believe someone earlier mentioned praying and fasting.
Yes.
This is necessary for discipline.
Yes.
And so I'm asking each one of the brothers, spend 10 or 15 minutes as a start.
Yes, sir.
Reading daily.
Yes.
And try to make at least the morning prayer. This is going to help us become and pray for one another. Like I'm praying for Michael and John and Tony. I'm praying for us to have the opportunity to get in a room together.
Yes.
But I want us to be successful, and we're all learning things from one another. So thank you, Brother Daryl.
Thank you, Brother Daryl. Brother Nathan, looked like your mic was unmuted. I know you are on something heavy over there, Brother Nathan.
Man, excuse me. Ooh, I don't get a chance to read as much as I would like to.
Yes.
I'm one of those people that when something catches my ear or catches my eye, I'm a binge it. I'm a binge watcher. I'm a binge reader.
Yeah.
But I don't have I'm not a person who's like, okay, I read that book, now it's on to the next. It's this caught my I heard somebody talking about this, but let me see what this is about.
Yes, sir.
Currently right now, just started reading this book called $40 Million Slave.
Yeah.
I
did that one.
And
Yeah. About our brother Larry Johnson.
Yeah. That would it would change your outlook about a lot of things. But for me, I think that something that was just said, that right now we are reading the book, being on the call.
Yes, sir.
But I'm gonna take it a step further, and not to disrespect the Quran, not to disrespect King James or anything like that.
Right.
But it's a collective. So this is the book of Nathan. This is the book of Larry.
That's right.
Book
That's
of Nathan,
right, brother.
chapter 5,
That's right.
verse 1 through 3.
Come on, brother. Preach.
And when we, tackle things in that dynamic, you give it a certain level of praise, a certain level of importance. And, no matter what it is that we do, if when we deem something as relevant or we deem it as important, our views on it become heightened. If it's just the run of the mill, oh man, everybody done, you kind of brush that aside. It's kind of like, and I'm not disrespecting anything, but that's what people have done with the Bible. Oh man, that's just the Bible. You can find that in the nightstand in the hotel room. Like, it's just the Bible. So nobody really takes it serious to read the context. But if someone, especially in this society that we live in now, if like one of these entertainers, these rappers, or whoever said, man, that Bible, that book there, man, it's lit. All of a sudden it's trending. And guess what everybody gonna be doing tomorrow?
Reading the book.
Want to get a Bible.
Yep. That's right. That's right. That's right. Beautiful, brother Nathan. And brother, that point that you make, reading the book of Nathan, is powerful, because that is an absolute truth, brother. And I mean, literally, ain't nothing sacrilegious about that at all. That's right on point, brother.
Yes, sir.
And that's why it's important for us to build brotherhood, because each brother, as the minister told us one time, is a book. Your whole life experience, your whole walk is a word. That's why when you started talking earlier, I'm like, hold on. We need to get this on record. We need to have this where the others can hear this, what this brother has to say, because it feeds everybody. Everybody's benefiting from that. So praise be to Allah. Want to keep on going, brothers?
Can I say one thing real quick? And I promise I'll be quick.
No, take your time.
I've heard Mr. Larry, something that we talked about earlier today. And when I said it, like your eyes lit up like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he just said that.
Right.
I've heard a bunch of people talk tonight, and the word that's like forever prevalent is inspiration. Inspiration.
Yeah.
And what I said to him earlier was, I never want to be labeled as a motivational speaker or a motivator.
Yeah.
The reason being, in my mind, motivation is momentary.
Yes.
Inspiration is eternal. I can motivate you to be on a diet, to look good in a bikini. But if I inspire you, I change your eating habits for life.
Come on.
I keep hearing everybody talk about inspiration.
Yes.
And that's so profound, and it's something that's lacking in our community. Like, nobody's inspired anymore. People are moved. People are motivated, but that comes and goes. I'm going on vacation, Miami. I got to look good for this bikini. I'm going to eat right for 2 weeks. But when I get back, I'm going right back to Raising Cane's and Burger King. That's motivation. I don't want to be that for anybody.
That's right.
Powerful, brother. Powerful, brothers. If any other brothers like to share, if not, we're gonna get ready to wrap up, because we want you to leave on on a high
Yes, sir.
frequency. Go
I'll
ahead,
say
Brother Joe.
something.
Yeah.
I'm reading. I always try to read something,
Yeah.
at least 2 or 3 books, something different. It is very, very important because and I want to make a distinction between reading and studying. That's 2 different things.
Yes.
Most people think when they're reading something, they're actually studying it. No, you're not studying it. You're reading it. So understand the difference between reading and studying. I'm not going to tell you. I want you to look it up and understand that there is 2 different things. And I'm going to give you an example of what happened today. This dude that he called himself the Secretary of War, he got up there and thought he was praying today too, and used he used the script out of Pulp Fiction that Quentin Tarantino wrote.
Oh my God!
Slid it together with Ezekiel, a Bible verse out of Ezekiel, and had everybody sit there and pray. He did this on television, like if he really was saying something from the Bible. See, this is where you get to not studying and this dude says he's a Christian and all this other crap, but he comes out there. If you didn't see it, go look it up today. It's hilarious that this guy, and he was serious. He was serious, and even if he wasn't, you can't take him serious anyway. But to get on television, to get everybody in the room, to get on there and quote Quentin Tarantino, who's a Jew, who wrote this, who gave Samuel L. Jackson, everyone knows that Pulp Fiction Samuel L. Jackson moment when he comes in there and talking about how good that burger was, and he goes through that whole monologue. The Secretary of War quoted that today as though he was honoring some pilot that had died. So just let you know that you know, you made me think about that. I mean, you're talking about when Lewis said something about reading, but please, brother, reading and studying is 2 different things.
Absolutely. Yeah, and reading is a mathematical formula, by the way. You know, if you parse the word read, is to do over and add, which is to apply or to add on to yourself. You know, so it is a very fundamental and necessary part of our life. You know, that's one of the first revelations that was given in the Quran, or of the Quran, was Iqra, Lukusra Insana, read in the name of your Lord, who creates and who created man by a clock, you know, taught man by the pen that which man knew not. Read, and surely your Lord is most generous, you know. And so it's so important that we take the time. And I appreciate what you gave as a prescription, Brother Lewis, and to all of our brothers, as something, as a takeaway for tonight, is to pick up something and read something every day. You know, even if it's a few minutes, even if it's a few seconds, because it's like working out. And the more you do it, the more you will get mentally fortified and stronger. And then at a certain point, you might find yourself engaging in study, Brother John, because you'll want to look deeper into the thing that you're reading, and you'll look at it from different angles and perspectives, and dissect it and parse the words. You know, now you're engaging into a study, you know, and you're starting to get more in depth into what you're reading. So it is important and fundamental that we all get into the habit of reading. Or even, I would even go as far, I would even add getting a good audio book and listening to a good audio book from time to time, because it will also feed your mind. And, you know, if you're not able to sit down, you may be on the move or whatever, read. I do it every day. I was riding with my son, you know, and we were talking, having a discussion. And I was sharing with him about business and the art of deception, you know, and how you dress, you know, just different things that men need to have, you know. And you know, he's sharing his perspective, I'm sharing my perspective, and then we start talking about the mind and different, you know, things. And so I popped on something that I told him. I said, "This is the book you need to listen to or read, son." And then I popped it on, and when I popped it on, I could tell he was getting electrified, and so was I, you know, because we had already raised the frequency in discussion. Now we're listening to something that is informing us even on a much higher level, and a more organized level into our conversation, you know. So it is so important that we engage in study every single day, and that's a part of one of these pillars, which is knowledge, you know. And that's what Solomon said, to get knowledge. It's the principal thing. Dr. Ava put in the Constitution something very phenomenal, She said that it should be considered an act of treason, in words, if we fail to study. Brother Tony?
Yes, sir, brother. But I don't want to cut your wisdom.
No, you good, beloved. Yes, sir.
Praise be to Allah.
Praise be to Allah.
You know, when I study, having read, you know, like a lot of brothers do in the nation, having read so much, and everybody touched it, you know, that you have to first, you know, begin with the book of self. I learn more now reading the books that come in human form than I ever learned off the page, even though I still read. But when I read, we had a conversation a few weeks back, Brother Mike, I always read books that I read 2 or 3 books at a time. And the reason why I do that, because that enhances your critical thinking, because you can't be careless about your intellectual properties and what's coming into your head. So if I have a book that I really enjoy, like I have a book that I enjoy by Wallace D. Wattles that Sister Ava Muhammad gave us, The Science of Being Great, you know, the science of getting well and being well, and the science of being the science of being great, the science of being well, and the science of getting rich, and also the personal power course. He wrote that one as well. And she encouraged those books, you know, because she was she was fascinated by him. But when I enjoy a book, I always take another book that is the con to that book's prose. Because it enhances your critical thinking, because you have to have, before you allow ideas to come into your mind, they have to be, the worthiness of that idea should be challenged. Otherwise, you can establish a foundation based on false principles. And you don't want to get into a debate like those in the first resurrection with a man who has a superior intellect. You don't want to get into a debate with somebody like that with an unproven faith, because when you do that, you'll find yourself lost. And that's what happened in the first resurrection. So many people got lost because they found themselves in possession of an proven faith. So I proved the word first myself. And because I could prove it, I know it. It's not just based on belief. I have already broken it down and looked on the negative aspects of it myself. Just like I was telling you, and I end on this point, Brother Mike, when I had 2 brothers, when I had my squad, and I had 2 brothers. Well, actually, I was a study group coordinator at the time, but I had 2 brothers who went to war, who was almost getting ready to go to war with each other. And what I did was I made both of those 2 brothers a lieutenant. Well, one of the brothers who he was going to get on this call tonight, he was the acting captain, and he was like, man, I thought them cats was going to kill each other. You should have put both of them out. I said, no, I said, because they represent 2 opposing ideas in the community. And I said, so if we put one out, those who are dissatisfied are going to go with the one who got put out. And I said, and we're still going to have the issue of reconciling that difference. I said, so rather than do that, let the 2 brothers who are at odds, let those who gravitate to their varying opinions, and then you can reconcile both groups rather than 2 individuals. And that, again, is a principle of civics. That is the civic duty. When you find that there's a disharmony in the whole, you have to know how to bring it back, because you have to tell yourself, what would I do if I was dissatisfied with these teachings that I believe was given to us to raise the nation and for my salvation? If you have not critically looked at these teachings, you can come across some philosophies, you can come across some ideologies that will make you question God's appearance, that will make you question the fulfillment of divine revelation and the fulfillment of the prophecies of the former prophets. But if you are the first protagonist against once you say you believe in, if you try it, then no man is ever going to come and challenge you, because you're the first one who put it through the fire and the beating. I know my sword to cut deep. If a
Come
joker
on.
make me really get out there and get on their backside, my
Come
sword to
on.
cut deep. Cause
Cut deep.
I done been through the ringer in my own head. And when
Yes.
I went and
That's
sat
right.
down with scholars, I knew that they couldn't hold a candle to me, you know.
That's
And
right.
that's not patting myself on the back. I'm just saying
That's right.
that I
That's
sat
right.
in the best with some
Yeah.
of us, even with the nation has to offer. Me
Yeah.
and Dr. Wesley sat down, and he said,
Yeah.
"Man, brother, I just want to sit down with you and pick your mind, you know,
Yes. Yes.
because
Yes.
I'm not afraid of
Yes.
the I'm not afraid of the war. I'm not
Yes.
I'm not
That's right.
afraid
Come on,
even
black
of
man. Come
finding
on. Come
something that
on.
I have can't be better. And
Yes.
that is one of the things that we must do.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, we die where we're at. And again, I'll end on this point, because this book that I'm reading by Charles Haddon Spurgeon. I don't know if you he had about 20 million followers in 18th century London, had the biggest church, metropolitan London. He wrote this essay titled "Satan, a Defeated Foe." But the point that I'm making is, because nobody understood that he was saying it was a chess game between God and man, which you and Satan as the king on either sides of the board. Now listen to this now. If you are the king on the side of the board and Satan is the king on the side of darkness, then as the king on the side of light, you have all of the institutions of light at your disposal. This is why God said that if you are faithful and keep your duty to me, and they come at you in a headlong manner, I will send 5,000 havoc making angels.
Havoc making angels.
You
Come
see what I'm
on.
saying? So, but you will never know that you have this at your disposal if you do not have a foe. That's why
That's
Prophet
right.
Noble Drew Ali said, "What? Without a foe, a soldier never knows his strength."
Never.
See, it's not that God doesn't know how strong you are. Sometimes we have to know how strong we are.
That's right.
Yes.
But
Yes.
because we can become so sensitive of what we have, we
Yes.
won't try it. And because
Yes.
we won't try it,
That's
we'll
right.
die where we are. And that's what
Yes.
happened to Metropolitan London Church in Europe, in London. It was one of the biggest movements, but right now it's a museum. It's a tourist attraction. And nobody that followed Charles Haddon Spurgeon is alive today. Not only are they alive today, nobody is even following his system today. Just like with Ebenezer Baptist Church, that was the beginning of the civil rights movement, it's a tourist attraction now. Because see, you will pick up momentum. That momentum will become a machine. That machine will allow you to accomplish things. But if you're not careful, that machine become a monument, and we'll talk about what we used to do. That's why we keep going back to the spirit of the Million Man March, when we should be able to call a Million Man March right now today.
Right
Assalamu alaikum.
now, brother. Heavy, 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 brother. Man, heavy, 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 brother. Made me think when you just closed out with that last point, Jesus said, and this is biblical basically, and this is another thing, we have to understand the science of Jesus, and not just the religiosity, if you will, for a lack of expression, given to us by the oppressor. But if you look at the black man and you see the God science coming through the man, it gives you a whole different perspective. But he said, greater works to his disciples shall you do than even I. And we can't leave that out of the equation, because there is an expectation in what he's saying. It's in the works that I'm doing at this level. I'm expecting, in words, if I could parenthetically say this, that I'm expecting for you to do greater works. You see, so we have to be like the scriptures say, having the faith, the grain of a mustard seed, and say to the sycamore tree, be uprooted and planted in the depth of the sea, and say to the mountain, be ye removed, and it would be so. You know, the mind, and it's so interesting, Brother Lewis, because you led us right into this pillar, you know, of knowledge. You know, the mind is a muscle, and it has to be exercised with knowledge. Brother Tony, you said something so phenomenal. And this is an area of intellectual cowardice that many of us suffer from. You know, we have a teaching or a wisdom that we believe in. And so, therefore, anybody challenges that, then we automatically make them an enemy, as opposed to studying and seeing the angle and understanding the angle and seeing if what we have can stand up to it. You see, so we become intellectual cowards. Or if somebody has a different opinion or a different perspective, then we think that they are automatically a hypocrite or disbeliever, when in some essence, it's just that they were born to challenge the thought. So let me tell you what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said. He said, I will teach you into the knowledge, is what he said in the Theology of Time. And he said, then I will teach you how to attack it. Oh, what? You'll do what? Boy, we stop right there. That's your point right there, Brother Tony. I will teach you how to attack it. And then he said, and I will teach you how to ward it off. See, what is the man teaching us? He is giving us the formula to fortify the knowledge that we're gaining. He's giving us the formula to success, you know, and having the formula to the execution of what becomes an invincible truth. See, that's the time we're in. We're in a time of invincible truth. Everything has to be challenged and reproved today. And in so doing, then we can establish a new world, a new kingdom. As the scripture said, a new heaven and a new earth, and then the former things shall pass away. See, so we're in a very significant area, but knowledge, this is Solomon said, get it. Get it. He said, get it. That's an instruction. The Solomon, the son of man, said, get knowledge. It's the principal thing. But then he said, but in all thy getting, which means there's a perpetual responsibility to gain knowledge. In all thy getting, perpetual responsibility to get knowledge. In all thy getting, get understanding. So that understanding comes from, as Brother Tony, you so beautifully put, learning how to have multiple perspective, being able to look at things from multiple different ways. One of the best things I've ever learned in my life, one of the greatest things I've ever learned in my life, is how to ask those questions that will make me look at things from multiple angles. It's what fortifies. So you're right. The sword becomes very, very sharp at that point. There's not much you can do with a man who has looked at it from every angle. See how you finna come with your attack. I would watch the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He was always prepared for the attack of the enemy. That's why they could not beat him. He said, I will give you $10,000 out of my brother's vest pocket if you can prove one of these words that I got wrong. How could a man do such a thing in a world like this? How could he do such a thing? How could he say such a thing and make such a challenge? You know, it wasn't a vain challenge. It was because he was fortified. And this is where we have to be again as Black men. This is the season that we're in. You have to realize this. We have to realize, I can't impress it upon us enough, brother, that we have to accept who we are. We have to accept the responsibility of who we are as Black men. Unapologetically, no excuse making, get over the ego, get over all that bull s that is interfering with our frequency to be able to receive and obey the wisdom of God and pass on the wisdom of God. And I'm not talking just spiritual hocus pocus given to us again by an enemy, because the enemy will give you a type of truth, but it will be tainted with a bacteria or a disease on it that will not allow you to access the fullness of the power of what he's giving you. So there's no way an enemy can give you the interpretation of wisdom of God and then you become strong from that wisdom. It's just impossible. It's just not realistic to even have that expectation. That has to come from an independent relationship with God. And in so doing, now we can access the greater levels of that science and wisdom. So again, we are sharing, brothers, and I appreciate all of these things because there's so many sparks in this this world, and so many sparks of wisdom that's coming in this conversation. And I will almost use the metaphor. I was going to say sparks in the darkness, because it's like electricity going off in darkness, and it's producing light and motion that will allow us to grow and evolve into the greatest things that we can become, brother. I can't impress it upon us enough. I'm so pleased that, as I prayed in preparation today, that Allah will bless us to get something very fruitful and beneficial in this discussion. And if you really paying attention, not just to the words, but as Brother Lewis pointed out, the energy, the heightened state of energy that we have in the call is because of the wisdom and the word and the time and the season. It's the time of our rise as Black men. Accept it. It's not a farce. It's not a feel-good statement. It's as my brother says, not about motivation. It's about inspiration. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that life, with regard to breathing, he said, is when you breathe in, he said, that's life. You're breathing in is life. And when you breathe out, then that's, the expiration. See, so while we are breathing in wisdom, we are being inspired with life, you see. And as Jesus said, with abundance and then greatness, the black man, and I impress this upon us. I feel so good saying it, but not just in an emotional sense, but in an authoritative sense. If you can feel your brother, the black man, sing it from the mountaintop, brother. Sing it from the mountaintops, brother, of everywhere, every mountaintop in your world. Sing it from the mountaintop. Say it with your chest, bro. Is God. Teach your young boys. Teach your sons, your daughters. Remind them so you can wake up what is dormant in us. That's why we must first be brothers is so important, so we can wake up the dormant sleeping giant, so we can take over this universe again. The majesty of what Elijah Muhammad brought us, and I gotta speak from that foundation. He gave us the measurements of the earth that God gave him. He said, he taught us the diameter of the universe. He told us the weight of the planet. He was preparing us by giving us these measurements, expanding our mind and our consciousness and our thinking about the planet we live on, the universe that we in, the sun, the moon, and the stars, because we are connected to all that we see in this universe. That is not a farce. That is the greatest truth that we can learn about ourselves that will re-inspire us, Brother Nathan, to become our highest form, our highest expression of ourselves all over again, and even more powerful, because all of what we have gone through in the book of Michael, the book of Nathan, the book of Brother Tony, the book of Brother Frank, Brother Lewis, Brother John, Brother Daryl, and all our Brother LaVale, and all the brothers on this call, Jack, and others, that book, brother, and experiences that we have gone through has produced a substance. And that's one of the things that Wallace Waddle talks about. He talks about this substance that's in the universe. It's produced a substance, brother. And the substance that is produced is a substance unlike any other substance. That's why there is no people on earth, even if they are of the same foundation being Black, there's no people on earth that are like the Black man and Black people in America. And let me go even further to say this. Again, not a vain statement. It's just the truth. There's no people, no other man on earth like the Black man who has been under the colonization and enslavement system of this world. None have experienced the torture that we have experienced, that has produced, again, a substance that God authored. Like he said to Genesis 15:13, I'm not trying to preach, but I am preaching by the help of Allah. He said in Genesis 15:13, know of a surety, this is for fact, he's saying, your seed, Abraham, will be in a strange land, a land that is not your what, Abraham? Your seed, like we got seeds. The seed will be in a strange land, a land that is not their own, meaning under conditions and circumstances, not just geographical, but a way in a world that is not our own, and would be afflicted. And we are afflicted and assaulted on every side. As we close, brothers, on every side we are assaulted as a Black man, on every side, bro. Every single side and direction we are assaulted. He said, but no, he said, I will come. and I will judge that nation whom they serve. I who? God said he will come. This is not church. This is not even mine. But listen at it from a scientific perspective. I'm going to intervene in your affairs of life. I'm going to reestablish your identity. I'm going to help you to know who you are all over again. God in you is coming. God in you is coming now. You know? And the scripture said, and they will come out. They will come out with great substance. Kumbaya. Come on, black man. Come on, brother. And they will come out with great substance. And here we are. That's why when you look, Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, when you look at a black man, you looking at God. So I am so pleased and so grateful to Allah that I'm so grateful that he gave us the heart to do what we're doing in this process, to obey as best that we can the teachings of Honorable Elijah Muhammad and push this agenda and this hard line on brotherhood. This is a universal conversation, brother. And if you can keep your heart open, we can get over all these antics and the divisive ploys of our enemy, then we will be 1000% successful. There is no doubt about it. There's nothing that can stop us. There's no force anywhere because all of this is ordained by the God. So thank you, brothers, for participating tonight. We're looking forward to building again next Thursday, Allah, God willing. And we're going to keep on building on these principles. We didn't close on the last two pillars, but the last two were dealing with, one of which was dealing with, let me pull it up here, health, which we want to talk about. And we're going to build on it as we go forward. We got to talk about health and we got to talk about economics. We covered in other shows. And then, of course, the whole of this agenda is about brotherhood. So again, thank you so much, black men. Thank you all for participating. Brother Lavelle, we didn't get a chance to hear from you, but it's good to see you anyway, black man. No doubt. Good to see your face over there, soldier. Yes, sir. If you want to breathe out there, breathe out there. Walaikum salam, brother. Breathe out there.
Yeah, I tried to get over. I was over. I've been out here. I'm in the truck, man. When y'all catch me, I'm out here in the truck. I was tempted to get over. Tony sent me the link, but I had something going on in my stop. Why? And I like, dang, I missed the whole little program tonight.
That's all
but
right.
You know, yeah, I'm most definitely be here every week. I hate that I caught it so late today.
That's all right, brother.
But yes, brother, I caught the last of it. You hit on so much, just a little bit I caught. Yes. I mean, my main focus is here in America where Master Farad Muhammad came. I 100% believe in my heart we're the most unique black men here on the planet Earth. I think we have to get ourselves together so we can do the work. I don't see nobody else more qualified than we are to put the whole pieces of the puzzle together, man. That's just in my heart. I mean, who around the world is creating spaces like this? We've been the only group of people that actually reached out to other people. Nobody's ever reached out and tried to bring our blackness together. Nobody's ever seen us as one blackness. You know, we had to get a sad, rude awakening over the years to realize that people didn't see us as one. And we still have love for our brothers and sisters around the world, but we got to mostly focus on us right now. That's the only way we're going to actually be able to build something. We have to focus on right now where it starts. We must be brothers first. It starts with us. We can't unite. Look, them brothers over there in the diaspora, they have all the resources. They got over 54 countries. They have united. They don't put emphasis on that. We understand. We see the importance in that. And it's not an indictment on the rest of our brothers and sisters around the world. But I have to say, man, I want to work with brothers like you and brothers over. Then we can be an example for everybody else, man. Other than that, man, that ain't nothing ever gonna happen, man. The force is right here.
That's right, brother. You closing this thing out perfectly, brother. So you came right on time, because what you just said is exactly what we saying when we talk about coming out this joint with substance, brother. So you put the icing on the proverbial cake, brother. Thank you so much. Yeah. So, Brother John, if there's anything else you want to close on, we're going to go ahead and get ready to close out. Thank you, my brothers. Peace to you, man. I love you, brothers. I can say that, Brother Nathan, with joy in my heart, 100%, and accept the trial that come with it. you know. But I thank you so much, black men, for participating in the call and all of the wisdom that you shared, brother. Please go on YouTube, you know, share this, brother. Share this so we can inspire other brothers, you know, and help bring and breathe life into our brothers so we can get this thing moving all around the country. This ain't no big I, no little you. We are all deputized by the divine to do this, man. We all brothers. We all wear that title. The minister said that's the best title that we can have is brother. So brother, my brother, my brothers, may Allah bless you and keep you and protect you and your families as I greet you in peace. Assalamu alaikum.
Be safe this week, brothers.
Sir.
Be safe.
Thank you, brothers.
Yes, sir.